Nice shirt. Oh.
Coordinated. All right.
Hell
Looks
yeah.
Looks like that worked. And all right.
What up, Paul?
Welcome,
He's muted.
YouTube. There he's there.
Oh, there.
Sorry for the late start. I just had some technical difficulties. We've got BrackCast number 22 today, and we'll be talking about loneliness. Being alone, feeling lonely, and I guess it follows with last week's theme of rejection, but also in the other sense of Ren should be here soon, hopefully, but he proposed some interesting ideas about what did he say? Recent focus on feeling human and pretty timely with COVID, what it means for when things open up again, because we may see people, but that doesn't mean we get rid of that feeling. Anyway, how's everyone doing?
Really good, dude.
I'm tired.
Yeah, me too.
I had a pretty poopy day.
This week has been oh, okay, let's start with that.
Okay. You see, I'm
or
really
not.
lonely. No, no, just a shitty trade. I'm still trying to fix my sleep, so I can't. So I never get a good sleep. So I try to wake up. Started trading at like 10:30, so I'm still late. But I was still super tired and then like passed out after.
Yeah.
Then I had a raid, and in the raid, it was a shitty raid. So
Oh no.
even my games are doing bad. So yeah, it's just annoying, and I'm tired, so I'm irritable.
Does it feel like a rut?
What?
Does it feel like you're stuck in a rut?
Not really. Like I'm still running and stuff. It's just fixing the sleep is hard. I don't know why. Like my body just doesn't like to sleep normally.
Mike, how you doing?
Good. I don't know what to say. I didn't do much today. Oh, I got some papers ready. I did. Yeah.
Papers?
Just mostly, yeah. I got some papers ready to pay for the house. So.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So
Oh, congrats.
hopefully I
That's
get
exciting. Another step. Did Paul say where he's going, or did he just say he'll be back?
You go.
Okay. Do this. All right.
How are you, FJ? How are you?
Man,
This
this
Paul.
rut has been ongoing. It's been ongoing.
What's the rut? What rut?
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like if I was like in your situation, especially with everything shut down still, I'd be in that rut too. Like, ooh.
Yeah, but really, if restaurants were open right now, I guess I'd go out and go to restaurants right now and socialize if people were socializing. But would I feel different? I don't know. I think it's a combination of everything too, like the work situation. I think feeling like I'm contributing, to society or to the world right now, or like the fulfillment in my life, and like the drive for like bettering myself. I don't know, it's I feel a little out of all over the place too. Like 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago? No. 2 winters ago, I was like in a place where I was like, you know what? Let's just focus on me and do me, and you know, there was like a focus or a goal on that, and it felt good. It felt like, yeah, now's the time to grow or whatever. Pursuing interests and stuff, and feeling like I would have a better grasp at like my identity or something like that, defining like who I am. But not to say that I don't know who I am. I think I have a very good idea of who I am, and I feel good about who I am. But I don't know. I want to touch on this thing, I guess, to start, because I thought about this for the past few days when we came up with the idea of loneliness. Oh, Paul froze, disconnected.
Yeah, he's frozen on our screen.
So a number of times, and I've come across it on media, social media too, and like on self-development and self-help, but like, you can't really love someone until you truly love yourself. Or how can you really be happy being alone? And that's when you can really find someone. If like Mike, we've had this conversation in terms of like relationship wise, you know, it's only when you were really happy to be by yourself, being alone, that you found someone. And it's not just you, other people too. It's happened for a lot of people, and it's like a reminder all the time. They're like, yeah, you know, just you should be able to feel happy and content being alone. Like that's is that like a requirement? Is that like a you should? You know what I mean?
Not really.
That, someone else
Not really
say it better.
being
Like,
alone. Not really being
Yeah.
alone. Just be like content with yourself, I think.
Okay.
Right? Because
yeah,
I don't know. It's like it depends on your. It's more like mental health. For me, the way I see it, it's like in an airplane. You have to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you put oxygen mask on anyone else. It's like
Yeah.
if you don't have yourself in a good place, then you're not in a place to help anyone else. Or you know what I mean? It's like help yourself before you can help other people. Or so similar to that, where like before getting into a relationship, it's like if you go into a relationship where you've been working on yourself and everything's good with yourself, then you can contribute more into that relationship, or it's easier to work on. But if you're not comfortable with yourself, I don't know, if you haven't worked on yourself or are comfortable with yourself or are self-aware, then even if you get into a relationship, you might run into some issues that the relationship can fail. I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah.
No, I get yeah, that's a good analogy for the sentiment of being able to help yourself before you help others, or again, loving yourself first before loving others. Gas mask on yourself before oxygen mask on someone else. Did anyone else hear that same message before? Have been told that before? Like,
No, I like the analogy.
oh no, yeah, the oxygen mask for sure, but like I've definitely heard like you can't love others until you love yourself. I agree with that, right? But there's this certain like message that you shouldn't be looking for happiness or fulfillment by finding someone. Or like maybe not even in a relationship, but it could be family. It could be family. Like, I came across this one profile the other day, and I will say it's the first and only one I've ever seen in the many years that I've been on these dating apps, and all it said was, I am, what is it, like, I am no longer interested in furthering or I am no longer interested in the advancement of my career. I just want to be someone's hot wife, which was the funny part. This, like, I just want to be someone's hot wife. But I looked at that and I'm like, okay, there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion.
No, not at all.
Right? Like,
I
it's,
like that. Cool.
I think it's like it fully defines this person has reached not the potential, not to say that they've maxed their potential, but they've reached a point where they're like, you know, I'm good where I am, and now I want to be with someone. And so there's that search, the looking for someone. And like, I mean, I've been told it a lot as like advice because of the frustration of this whole dating scene and being single, especially right now in COVID. But like, it's like, man, just do you, just focus on myself and just do things that I enjoy, and someone will come. And I don't disagree with that sentiment, but it's almost like you shouldn't be looking for someone. Like, you shouldn't be trying so hard. Not that I'm trying that hard, but like, the focus is there. I know that my focus, like, I don't know. I think I've reached a point where I am very confident in who I am. I'm very defined who I am as a person. My values are very much like defined now. And I know I want to be with someone, but it's like it's looked at, or it's regarded as like I'm needy or something. Like, it's bad. It's bad for me to want someone in my life to be happy. Not that I'm not happy, but is it wrong to feel like I can be happier in a relationship than if I were single? Is that wrong?
Nope. So, there's this thing called Erikson stages of development. Pretty much it identifies the major conflict that people go through every single like age, like range, you know, from 20 to 40, that, you know, ballpark range. The main struggle is intimacy versus isolation. So finding that kind of social, finding that partner, finding that thing. And then like from 40 to like 60, it's generativity versus stagnation. Am I contributing to society? How's my career going? How's that thing going? You know, so like, it's such a common thing. Like, you know, everyone in their 20s to 40s in some shape or another, well, not everyone, but lots of people, most people would have that kind of same struggle that you're experiencing. And to want someone and find happiness, and, you know, that we're social human beings. You know, there are some people who are okay being more alone and happy and content in their hobbies, interests, and, you know, things like that. But it's okay to want like a partner. You know, I mean, humanity's survived because we procreate, because we get together, and we, you know, I mean, primates have to do that too. Primates started off like, there's no lone primate, you know, and they travel in groups and packs and everything. So it's scientific, it's everything. You know, to want someone, that's normal. That's understandable, and, you know, that's fine.
Okay, Dan wrote, I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with looking for someone. It's more of the mindset of, I won't be happy unless I'm with a relationship. I don't think I have that mindset. Am I happy right now? Not particularly, but it's not that I don't necessarily think a relationship right now would not make me happier, you know? Not that I rely on the relationship to be happy, but I can imagine in this scenario, in this past year, living alone and being single, would I have been happier having had a girlfriend or someone like a companion in the last year? I think so. I think I would have been happier this last year rather than living alone, being by myself. I don't think I'm unhappy. Like, there's a lot of things I'm unhappy about. I don't necessarily think I'm unhappy and I can't be happy. Like again, like how can I have confidence in myself, and how can I feel strong about like my beliefs and be very opinionated about things I believe in? Eh, I don't know. Thoughts?
I think you're, I think it's fine because this is pushing you to achieve this happiness, like having that desire, that want, and like feeling unease. Like if you were like, a lot of people come to psychiatry thinking that there's like, oh, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, or whatever, but they're not clinically depressed, but they're feeling this way because something's not right in their life, and then that gives them the motivation. And I tell them that's the motivation for you to actually do something with it. Oh, my kids hate me and I'm broke, or this and that, or I don't have anyone. All right, then that should be your motivation to try and achieve those goals. If that's something that you really think is going to make you happy, then go for it. Like I remember telling my mom, like, I don't have any actual hobbies or interests, and it kind of drives me nuts, and I'm kind of sad about it. Like, I mean, I like my plants, but they're just plants, you just like water them. And I like, I don't love working out. I have to work out. I don't love it. I don't love nutrition, but I have to like deal with nutrition. But I look at my younger brother, my older brother, I look at a lot of you guys, I wish I could get that same dopamine hit from video games and from like streaming and things like that. I really do. But, and I remember having this conversation with my mom, because my mom was like, why is your older brother into this stuff and everything? I said, hey, he's one of the lucky ones to find what makes him happy and content in life. I wish that I could actually have that. I'm still trying to find out what I like, but hey, he's kind of, to each his own with what gives them happiness and what makes you content,
Can I ask you, Paul, because you study this, like mental health. Do you feel like you yourself and maybe your other colleagues, did you feel different after learning all of it? Like becoming that expert, did it help?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of learned, like, you see patterns in human behavior, and I mean, a lot of it is I learned the absolute worst about humanity, right? I see that. And so, like, that kind of helps me gain perspective on everything else. And at least with the loneliness thing, like, accepting that you're lonely is fine. Accepting that you're like sad about something is like, you can call a spade and say it's shitty. Like, I don't like it when people say like, it's not that bad. I'm like, well, it's shitty for me. Why can't I call it shitty? Like, it sucks, So
the
like,
feeling, right? It's just a feeling. Loneliness is a feeling.
And it's okay to call it out. Like, hey, I do want something more, and that's fine. Like the whole entire world. So like pretty much like people are just looking for happiness, right? At the end of the day, everyone wants happiness, but like no one has the exact answer of what happiness is going to be. I mean, everything that we consume, food, fashion, entertainment, partnership, relationships, everything is the goal is just to make you happy and content. But it differs for everyone. And so like I can't really knock someone for, I'd be more content in a relationship. I'm like, okay, yeah, good for them. They'll be more content with a relationship. Or like, it's like asking someone like, why are you so content when your team wins, and why are you so disappointed when your team loses? I'm disappointed when my team loses, and I'm extremely happy when my team wins. I'm sorry, it just clicks for me, but not for other people, So it's just one of those things.
I'm just gonna read out Wikipedia, Google's top hit on loneliness, just because I never really thought about its formal definition. But loneliness is here, let me just. Loneliness is an unpleasant emotional response to perceived isolation. Loneliness is also described as social pain, a psychological mechanism which motivates individuals to seek social connections. It is often associated with an unwanted lack of connection and intimacy. You were saying that, Paul.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's like perceived isolation. So does that mean it may not? Yeah, because some people don't feel lonely when they're completely isolated.
Yeah, I mean, there's personality types, and there's one of them is called schizoid personality type, where they really don't give a shit about like, think of the stereotypical lighthouse keeper who
Ah,
doesn't care
yeah.
about society. Or like, there's a documentary I saw about this guy in like the tundra of Russia who doesn't give a shit either. Like he's very content just measuring how deep the snow is. So it's like there's a lot of things, but people are different.
Or you could be in like, a group of friends and still feel lonely, right? Or
Yeah.
isolated.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you could be in the biggest city in the world and be isolated.
Can work
So,
both ways. That's why it's
what
like
it-
perceived.
It's perception. So is it usually in error? Like is it wrong?
What do you mean?
Well, I know it's a feeling, and I know I've come to understand that any feeling you have is completely fine. It's just how you respond to your feeling, whether that be healthy or not, that be detrimental or like detrimental to yourself or not. So you choose a way to respond to your emotion that aligns with your core values, right? Mindfulness. So here, perceived isolation and the emotional response is feeling lonely. So what is, I mean, I don't know if this tapping too much into your expertise here, but like, what do you prescribe? What do you prescribe to someone who feels lonely?
What are the drugs?
Well, maybe not the drugs.
No.
It might not even be drugs. It might not even be drugs. Like,
You're
what
asking
is
for
it?
what to do.
Loneliness.
What do you
What's
do?
missing? Like, is there like some chemical response in the brain that's like releasing that? Like,
No, I mean, yeah, all of that takes into account, but loneliness is a high risk factor for suicide. It is extremely high. But the main thing, really, what I prescribe for those who are lonely, and I get a lot of, especially elderly, all their friends are dead and things like that. You're really looking at trying to encourage them to go into group activities, go into group activities or get out and explore. I mean, with COVID, it's terrible. I understand with COVID, like going to like, for example, if you were feeling lonely right now, why not try going, if things were open, like salsa lessons or going to like meetups or trying to find something that you're interested, even if you're not even if you're not like a complete novice and you haven't done it before, check it out. Like at least go once and see how it is, how the community is, putting yourself out there, sort of thing. I think that's like what we always recommend. And yeah, like if that's like the feeling that you're experiencing, I mean, there's always online communities of people who also feel the exact same way and literally just looking for people to talk to. There's always that now. But yeah, so it's tough, but you also can rely on family. You can rely on friends. At least if you're feeling a certain way that you're unable to share it to others and you're feeling lonely because of that, why not take a stab at it and actually communicate? Like maybe you'll feel less lonely when you're able to communicate.
There's also lonely. Like earlier, we were talking about, is it bad to want to be in a relationship? But that's different. It's, are you lonely because of the lack of a girl? Or are you lonely because of a lack of social interaction with anybody? Like there's two different things. There's like, I want a girl, and then there's I just want to be around people. Could be
Mm-hmm.
my mom, could be my cousins. It's totally different to like, I really want to be romantically involved with somebody. So what are we focusing on here?
Whichever
Intimacy.
pertains to you personally.
Yeah.
I'm focusing on either, but personally in my life, it's the romantic one that I want, that I desire. I don't feel lonely when we're on Discord playing games. I don't feel lonely when I go visit my family and we chill and have lunch, and that's not like the lonely. But if I'm with them, it's not like I'm fulfilling that desire to be romantically invested in somebody. I don't feel romantically loving towards any of you or my family. And I know what that feels like. I'm sorry, Paul.
No.
I know what that feels like. I remember what it feels like, and it feels awesome. And there are certain things that come
that
with it too.
oxytocin,
Like,
dude.
is that
You want that
oxytocin? Is that
yeah,
all
that
it is?
connection. That connection.
Can I just
that,
drink oxytocin and then I won't feel that anymore?
a loved one, that waking up next to somebody, that's what you're missing. That oxytocin.
So how is
Yeah.
that not like a? I mean, I guess that's a dangerous thing to to make medicine. It's just like,
Oh, I
here,
don't know.
can you
A pill for
inject
loneliness.
oxytocin in somebody and then like?
I have no idea. I'm sorry.
I don't think these are chemical. I think these are neurotransmitters.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
not a neurotransmitter is not something that you just inject.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Yeah.
like you take the drugs to trick your brain into creating certain neurotransmitters.
Oh, okay. Is that like dopamine then? And
Dopamine is one of them. Serotonin
Yeah.
is one of them.
okay, oxytocin.
So like when you hear about the SSRI, the serotonin
See,
inhibitor
Yeah.
is to prevent your brain from making it.
So,
Oh,
what's the opposite of loneliness?
well, let's see.
That I never been find.
If
Yes,
it's perceived.
you want to be alone.
The
Oh,
opposite
look
of
at that. That
Oh.
book is.
So,
Well,
yeah.
if
Made
it's
up word.
perceived isolation, so it's what?
Sense of belonging.
Perceived belonging?
Hey, Ren's here.
Hey, the guy's idea.
Belonging. Perceived belonging.
Rent's
that
been
makes-
here. He just hasn't been
Perceived
talking.
belonging.
I
So
am
is that-
addicted to Zelda, guys.
Zelda.
Oh, the Switch one? Oh, I love that game.
Yeah.
Awesome. One of the best.
Breath
It's
of the
so good.
Wild.
Can I ask then, like, how Kyle positioned it? Like, is it with family or friends, or is it romantically with a significant other? Is that like, is belonging subcategorized like that too?
Yeah, belonging to a family, belonging to like a friend group. Right.
Like, there's a certain love you only feel with your significant other, isn't there? Like, isn't that a very unique? I mean, polyamorous might be different. Maybe you can feel these things with multiple people, but it's this that feeling though is only specific to that partner, not parents, friends, siblings, children. It's different, right?
Yeah, it's different. I mean, that's why I asked. Like, I mean, we could focus on one, but if we
We don't
keep
have to.
talking, like ambiguously, then you'll get different answers for every question.
Well, does anyone here feel unhappy or feel alone the non-romantic way?
I
Sometimes,
did.
You
Sometimes.
did?
Like I moved to a new city
Yeah,
in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
just don't know.
Tell me about it, Paul.
For sure. That's isolation. Oh
I
yeah,
don't
Ren
know.
too, yeah.
Ren had someone.
Okay, yeah. But it wasn't the same.
Romantically,
That's
but
the
it's not
other
the
sub
same.
that was the
no.
other
Yeah.
subcategory we're
Oh,
talking
right.
about.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
But I mean, does that really make a difference, Paul or Ren, versus
JJ
let's
as
say
well, yeah.
my situation of living alone? Not going anywhere? Had I lived alone not going anywhere in a different city, would it be different?
I mean, it was just I haven't seen family or friends in person.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of shock. Like, you know, I'm a pretty social guy, so it was kind of shocking. A little weird. I felt like I had all this time in the day and I just didn't really know what to do with it. Um, like, yeah, it was different. Then I just ended up like trying to do stuff more virtually with my family. You know, like family Zoom calls. I'm not really super religious, but I would even attend mass online just to feel some sort of community.
Really?
You know, yeah. So
actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Ren too.
Yeah. It
yeah.
helps, man.
Yeah,
You have to have
it's
something
fine.
consistent.
Mhm.
Interesting.
But yeah, and then what else? Yeah, then I actually ended up having a girl, like meeting someone and dating someone. But when we broke up, it got even worse because it was like I don't know no
Feel
one.
bad.
Fuck the city. It's terrible. I'm alone.
So, dude, can I ask you, when you were in the relationship, did it fulfill the belonging one of the non-relationship type of loneliness?
It did because I was close with her family.
Okay.
Like I played volleyball with her family, like chill with her family, drink and barbecue with them and
Right.
stuff. But like, yeah, it was kind of like I had another family, which was nice. But yeah, so I mean, it's still not the same. Like it's still never the same, you know. Like, but it was nice. Like that's people I cared about. Like I got to see people I care about.
Question for everyone here. So, like, I think everyone in here has siblings. Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, everyone has siblings.
Like, are you guys tight? Like, are you guys
Yeah.
tight with your fam? I think
Yep.
I think I'd say out of all of us, I'd say maybe Dan and Paul, maybe?
Yeah, I'm pretty tight with my siblings.
I've gotten along a lot better now that we're older. Are away from the house, so we
Yeah.
appreciate each other more. I think so.
Yeah.
When we all lived together, it was
I
like
can relate to that.
it was
I'd be
like butting heads all the time.
yeah.
I am with Mike. But like, he got me into what I'm interested in today, really. You know, he's the one that watched anime first. He's the one that played video games first. He's the one that built the computer first. And these are things that I still really like, and so does he. So like, now we're
That
like
works.
really similar.
Real similar. Are you
Yeah.
really tight?
Yeah. I mean, we're close. Yeah, we're close. But I don't like call him up just to see how he's doing. But it's more like Trinidadian culture too, that you pretty much have to keep in touch with your family. So like Sundays, he would have like a virtual meeting with us because I'm here with my parents and my granny. So like we just have a big call, and we do that almost every week. So we get to find out about his life and talk about ours and stuff and where we're at. So I would say we're pretty close, but yeah, we're not on like a best friend level where I would like call him up and just say like, "Hey, what's going on? What you doing?" Like,
Yeah.
we're not like that. But
Hey, when I got really lonely, hell yeah, I just started cold calling people. Yeah.
Are you super tight like that with your brother?
Yeah, with my brothers, yeah. Brothers. Well, like my sister's more busy with raising her kids and all that, but like, yeah, my brothers we talk.
Is he like your best
Like-
friend?
I don't know, he's my brother. I wouldn't say he's like my best friend to me. I never really had a best friend label on my friends. Like,
Okay.
he's my brother. But because I have a few friends on team too, like almost every day, if not every day. But With him, yeah, like we talk like pretty much every day. I have a 50-minute commute. He has a 45-minute walk, and so it's a good time just to like talk and catch
Yeah.
up. Yeah,
Oh, that's when you guys chat, or when you get catch up.
yeah, and like, well, he's an interesting guy because he is pretty much off social media and everything, and he used to be like the most social guy ever. Like he was like crazy social, and now he's just like he cold calls like all his friends, like no matter what. Like he doesn't text, he doesn't like message Facebook or whatever. He literally just calls his friends. And so he just like would call me out of the blue, like no warning, like hey, you busy? No, he'll just call. And like his friends love it. Like his friends love it. I'm cool with it. Like, you know, it's nice to have a conversation over the phone. Like it makes a difference. So like, I mean, y'all can follow me. I don't mind. Just to let you know.
It'll be like, so what's up?
Hey, Paul, I've never called you before, but
Yeah, but it's like it's an interesting thing because like you can have like more interesting conversations with tone and how you can relate, and so he loves it, and it's kind of cool that he does that.
just
If I had a plan that enabled me to, I think I would.
Oh goddamn! You guys are in Canada.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
not
only
just
Discord,
that.
you can do anything over Wi-Fi now, I guess. Too, but
Yeah, but
Call through
right,
WhatsApp.
yeah, Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I was just wondering like your data plans are like out, but you guys got Wi-Fi. You're fine.
we're always on Wi-Fi now. Barely use data now because we're always at home. Just to fill in on some of the input here, Day says definitely consider himself pretty close with his sister, and Dan close with fam, but talks to us more. Like, I agree. Like with Mike, with my sisters, we fought a lot more when we all lived together at home, but we've all grown up and matured and have our separate lives where we built respect towards each other now, and where we I guess we take into consideration a lot more of what we say and our opinions and our advice now. At least we listen to each other a lot better. But like, yeah, Paul, you said best friend title, like this group, BrackCast, Brack. I mean, for sure, if I didn't have this in the last year, it'd be much worse. I think my condition, my situation would be much worse. I wouldn't like. We've probably spent way more talk time in this last year than we've had ever. Like, you know, right? In any previous year before, I don't know. You guys might have lived together. That's different, I guess, if you see each other that much FaceTime. But even though, I don't know, even like the reliance on that belonging connection, I don't think I've ever really grasped onto a group this much. I have a best friend. Title is he's my best friend. We don't talk every month, you know, like we maybe talk maybe once a month, maybe, but that's not even, you know, but he's my best friend. Now when I get married, he'll be the best man. But it's weird. It's weird. I don't know.
I think in general, like if even if like the way you say it, that if you didn't have us, you'd be a lot worse, or would you have found a different group? You know what I mean? It's like it's still another thing that could have happened. If you were truly at that bottom, don't you think you would like reach out to other people or find at least some other person as great as this group?
Maybe I think it would. Maybe I would have related to someone else similar in that situation. We were all on a very similar situation, you know, where yeah, some of us had work, some of us didn't, but like I think in mental fortitude, maturity level, you know what I mean? Like I don't necessarily think any of us have a I don't know what I'm trying to say. I didn't think about that. If it wasn't you guys, would I have found someone else? I can't even think of who that would have been. But
well, you would have tried. At least I'm trying to think if I didn't have this Discord group. if I reached that point where I felt like that, I would reach out more to like, I don't know. Yeah, like Paul said, I would just cold call people. I guess if you if you ever have to reach somebody.
True. You reach out when you need to reach out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
So it's not
I mean,
like
yeah.
if we didn't have this, it would be like, oh, I would have committed suicide. That's a bit extreme,
Oh, like
but
that.
it'd be, like,
Yeah.
completely lonely. Yeah.
Well, man, that makes me think about those certain people in my life that I know who don't have friends. Like, do you know those people? Any of those people who honestly say, I don't have any friends? I can't imagine that. I don't know. Or in my mind, when I think about that in that scenario, they're like, they must have friends. Maybe they just don't give them that title. Do they reach out, or do they really solely rely on like alone activities of like reading and watching a lot of shows and movies and playing a lot of video games? Well, when you play online, that's very social now too.
Yeah.
Dan said pre-Discord and Skype, he used to call Warren Day with my 5. Yeah, those 3 for sure. They're like,
Wow,
What
throwback.
is that? I don't even know what that is.
No, it's like you have 5 people that your phone company
yeah,
will allow
you
you
can
to
choose
call.
5 phone numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, like the phone company would do that. Oh yeah, I remember that. My 5. Yeah, that was just my family.
I think that still exists, right?
I think most plans have unlimited everything now.
Oh yeah, true. True. Yeah. Okay, well, Ren's point earlier when he brought this up this week was transitioning back when things open up again. Okay, can we agree that there's a certain level of loneliness that we're all feeling, at least a little bit, or is someone totally cool in this group? Okay, you do? You have?
No, everything's
What's
open.
this?
That's all.
What's this?
No,
Well,
I
states
feel
are
good.
open.
I don't really feel lonely at all, dude.
Oh, you don't feel lonely at all. So, okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm just curious. I'm curious where people are at, because if it's going to make a shift, is that going to change in the next coming weeks or a couple months with things maybe changing? Well, I know with you, Paul, everything's open already, so.
But honestly, the transition wasn't as weird as I thought it would be with things opening up.
Okay.
If anything, because like I feel like there's just been this, like, everyone's just waiting to go out and everyone's like super excited. Like, if I don't have plans on a weekend, I could literally text people and be like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, come join us. Come join us. Hey, come join us. Like, people are open for that. And like, I've met friends through friends and friends. Like, I started meeting new people. Like, it's kind of like weird, almost like university again, just like meeting people again. Like, I went to a party like last weekend and I met a bunch of people there. And then they're like, oh, we're going to go to the lake like next 2 weeks from now. You should come. And I was like, dang, like, okay, like that sounds fun. But, so I feel like everyone's kind of super excited, to go out and meet people again. Like, it seems like just all this pent up energy for it. And it wasn't as weird as I thought it would be. Like, so.
You guys?
I could give a different point of view.
Okay.
So, as you know, I haven't been romantically involved, not because of COVID, but for like ever. So, the COVID thing didn't really do anything for me. Like, it's not any different at all. So, no, nothing's gonna change for me. Do I feel lonely in terms of having a significant other? Yeah. But it does not mean that I crave that. So, like, do I want a girl? Yeah, sure. But I feel like I'm not ready to chase that yet anyway. So, like going back to the whole working on myself. I'm not really happy with myself anyway. So like, I feel like I'm gonna bring in, like, I don't want to bring someone into a relationship with me with the stuff that I have going on
Okay.
or not going on. So that's where I'm at.
Well, in the loneliness part, do you not feel loneliness in any other categorization?
Like
Like
family,
belonging?
no.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Friends, no. I
Okay.
have lots of friends. I'm blessed that way. I'm really close with my cousins. I live with my granny and my parents, so like sometimes that can be not so great, but overall it's great. And yeah, it's just the romantic side of things. It's like, I guess I'm technically lonely, but it's like, man, I've been lonely for 15 plus years. So
But is that okay, not seeking it then? Is it you know how some people are like, I don't want to find one, and that's very definitive of like they're not looking or they don't even want it. You're like not even on the fence about it. You do see the value in it, but you just don't, you're not ready for it. Is that what you're saying?
I would not be happy if I found someone right now. I wouldn't be happy bringing to the relationship what I will bring. I wouldn't be happy about that. So,
Why is that?
Day did mention that earlier. It's about feeling lonely versus needy. What do you mean, Day?
Dan said Paul looks jacked.
Oh yeah,
Anyway.
Dan
Sorry,
said
Paul.
Paul looks extra jacked.
Paul is jacked.
The only type of loneliness I feel is the social interaction. Discord is nice, but we chilled a lot. Just that aspect. Nothing wrong with being alone.
I
What do you say?
miss being with friends and family in person. You know, going to Trinidad, having a big beach line with all my family and friends, and that stuff is just amazing. And I definitely miss that. So I get what Dan's saying. I miss that, but that's not loneliness to me.
Okay, so
That's just-
Dede wrote, nothing wrong with being lonely. I think being needy is wrong, and that's when one needs to work on themselves because you're relying on others to be satisfied of whatever it is you seek. Okay, so no, Kyle's not being lonely. Kyle's not being needy because he is understanding that he needs to work on himself first.
I don't feel like I need. Some people feel like they need a romantic relationship.
To what?
I don't know how that feels, but
You mean to be happy?
Well, it's just by like, you know, someone would like take my cousin for instance. We say this man can't be by himself because he would be with a girl for years and then they'd break up and in like 2 weeks he'd have a next one.
Mm-hmm.
That man cannot be by himself. He needs, and I don't know if it's purely sexual. I don't know if it has to do with love but he like, and now he's married and right, like everything's good, but you could probably count the weeks he was single in the last 20 years on your hands.
So
And,
is
so
that
to
his
us,
need?
It's a funny thing because it's like this man, it's a joke, but
Mm-hmm.
really the evidence is there that he always had to have a girlfriend.
Why is it a need versus a want?
I don't know. You'd have to ask
Okay.
him.
Like, no, you've defined it as a need just because of counting how long he's been single in between relationships. But what if he just, the guy was
Well, for
blessed.
me-
He never had an issue or any problems finding the next one.
Well, for instance,
maybe he's
there should be a
desired to.
grieving. Listen, there should be a grieving process when you break up with someone for years. You shouldn't just. It's not natural to jump into another relationship after a couple of weeks, and that seems to me like a needy thing. Like you need to sit back and
like the rebound.
realize, like, yeah, like just sit back and realize things like what went wrong.
True.
What didn't work out? Is there anything about you that contributed? Maybe you should, be a little retrospective or introspective. And the evidence shows it's like, dude, you were with this girl for so and so years, and then whoop. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
You gotta grieve a little bit.
Yeah,
Grief
it's
is
like
normal.
if the relationship broke down partly because of him and he didn't take time to learn from that or soak it in because he's only been single for like a week or two, then he'll just bring the same mistakes or problems to the next relationship.
Yeah, well, that would be an interesting conversation to have to see if he did. If that 1-2 weeks later, where he was in the next, did he realize? I mean, I'm assuming that guy didn't marry that one, the 2 weeks after one. I don't know. But let's say the one he
Oh,
married.
this happened all it was throughout, the last 20 years. It's like
They're always short,
whoop,
right?
whoop, 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 whoop. Like it was many.
Now,
And,
is it
like,
possible
I'm
too
not saying
that
it was that many, but it was a good few. And
is it possible that near the end of a relationship, before you actually end it, you try to hang on, but you already know what's missing, or you're already kind of calculating what's going, like the downhill part of a relationship, the latter part of a relationship where it's failing, where you start to evaluate, but you don't end it right away. This is hypothetical. I don't know his situation, but is it possible that that last year of a long relationship, of a 3-year, 4-year relationship, where you just knew it wasn't going to make it, and you knew what was missing, and you were just slowly, finally defining, this isn't what it's going to be, and then it ends? Is that grieving period? I know you're calling it a grieving period, and yes, technically the grieving period should be independent, and when he's by himself, not in a relationship, but I mean, I can.
yeah, to me,
Yeah,
like to me, yeah, you're not grieving if you're still in it, working on it. That's not grieving.
not working on it. You could just, well, I
Then
guess what
are
I'm
you
trying
doing?
to. Oh, dude.
No, there's a million possibilities of what
Yeah, it's like,
happened in
Well,
that
what I'm trying to
relationship.
say is speaking from personal experience. I've had a 4-year, I've had a 7, where I can look back and be like, that 4 should have been 3, that 7 should have been 5. Was I working on it in the last 2? No. But you hung on because you've already built up 5. And it's like there's this level of commitment that you hang on to something because you built so much already. But you're already starting to see like things were going, like you were already going in your separate ways.
so
Not
you're
saying
saying you're not working on it to improve it. You know it's going bad, but you're hanging on for what?
for the sake of
people are like that.
commitment for history, dude. If you think
But
that's
you're
silly,
not trying to make it.
You're
I will
just
say-
hanging on. You're just hanging on because you've been in. It's like tradition. It's like you're doing
Yeah.
tradition because it's been
Yeah,
there
I'm
for
still
so
going to
long.
church. No, I don't.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not saying it's correct. I'm saying it happens. I'm saying it actually
Okay.
happened. I'm not saying it's the
Well,
right
for-
thing to
for
do.
me, I find it hard to see that because I mean I've experienced that as well, but I was fighting.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I'm just gonna stay here even though it sucks and it's doomed, but I'm just gonna stay.
Oh, I mean, you could
like I don't-
fight for it and you could try, but if it's not both ways, is it really gonna work? Or if it's not, I don't know.
well, that's
If you're no
that's
longer
a
working
different thing.
together, you're no longer working together. Anyway, okay,
It's
okay,
like go back to this topic though. Like I had friends who went through the same situation, and I'm like, why are you staying in this relationship? Because they're scared of being lonely. Like they're scared
Yeah.
of being alone again. Like
yeah. Oh yeah, that was part of it too, for sure.
Yeah.
The hanging
it's
on
like a
part.
huge-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that an issue? Like, is that an issue jumping from relationship to relationship because you're scared of being alone?
Some
Well, the thing
people,
is,
I would say so.
I'm just giving a little bit of benefit of the doubt for this friend that we just described, or like Kyle's friend with like weeks, and count how many weeks he'd been single, and now he's married with kids and everything's fine. Is everything fine, or like did he not learn anything in the last relationships that he built up, leading to that marriage? I like to think maybe he
think-
did if he got married.
I think he learned something through each of the relationships, and it's more of a joke that he couldn't be single.
Right.
right? Like I would sit down with him all the time and be like, because he would see me with like never girlfriend, and then he was the opposite, so we'd always joke about it. And it's funny. Like obviously, you learn something through each relationship for sure, but there's a lot of things he could have learned by just being alone for a bit.
I agree.
He just didn't get those lessons.
I agree.
But
And Day
all
saying
good.
sorry, you got to be that guy. I don't think you need to apologize for. I don't know what guy you're trying to be. Yeah, people aren't hanging on to the latter parts of a relationship when it's kind of doomed. They're not for good reasons. Like I don't think that's a thing people should do unless there was actually like effort or hope in fixing it. He's saying, okay, well, just for context for whoever's watching, listening, says, I think if you know you are missing something and you know it's gonna end anyway, that's not grieving. You are being selfish and not treating the other with respect. Okay, yeah, that's fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with that statement.
It's just so you know, it's different personality types. Some people are the rip off the band-aid type. That's me, or like, well, what happened in the past? I'm just trying to fix things. I'm trying, and then eventually rip the band-aid off. But you know, and then the other type are those that factors in, like the fear of being lonely, or they just don't want to feel the negative feeling that is breaking up with someone.
Mhm.
It's really shitty to grieve. Like if you had a choice not to grieve, you'd probably choose that, right? It's very hard to choose grief over not grief.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I can see that as well, but I am the type of the other, like, if there really is no good ending, you gotta end it. So. But I mean, historically, a lot of couples have went on too long, and they hung on for just for those other reasons. But it's just human nature, right? Like you kind of can't.
Well, you would hope, you go through it once, that it doesn't happen again. Like you learn from.
Yeah, like if there was a certain reason for the breakup, and then you go with this next girl, and then you notice it's the same thing, then you gotta
don't do anything about it.
Yeah. You gotta sit down and realize, you can't be like, man, I'm so unlucky. Every girl I come across says this and this and this about me. They're bitches. It's like,
I like the way Dan put it there. He says, I agree. If there is something wrong and both parties are trying to work on it, then it's fine. When it gets to the point when one or both stop trying, then they'll both start feeling loneliness while in the relationship. So there's another perceived isolation and lack of intimacy while in a relationship. I've experienced that personally, and it sucks. So yeah.
Yeah, that's strange. Yeah. I can't say I have, but that would be very tough.
I think with the transition into things opening up again, I had a conversation with another friend earlier today. We were talking about playing basketball, like pickup, and he's comfortable with playing street ball, understanding that he's vaxxed. In his mind, if they're out here playing ball, they're likely not sick. You hope they're vaxxed, and maybe you can ask them if they're vaxxed. But even if they're not, like, likely they're healthy. They're out here with sun. There's this level of like acceptance of it, right? And he's cool with that.
Well, he also has like some sort of protection, right? Like
with his
some
vax,
sort of defense.
Yeah. I don't know. And I told him, like, nah, man, I'm not playing with people I don't know. Like, there's this trust thing where at least if it's a weekly run or pickup thing that I'm running with the same group of guys, and we want to show some level of respect. If somebody has symptoms, they won't come, But I remember back in the day when I played lots of ball, if I felt sick or like maybe a cold, I'd still play ball, like, because because it's ball. Ball's awesome. And you just play through that. And so, you know, who you gonna trust people on the street pick up ball like that? So that's affecting me. Like, I am not vaxxed yet, and it's gonna happen at some point, but I'm not. And yeah, whenever I get invited to a group thing, to meet at a skate park, meet at a beach, meet at a park, or any kind of thing, I think about it a little bit. I'm like, am I gonna be okay with that? Like, even walking along Lakeshore that one weekend where it was really nice outside. I mean, it's outdoor, social distancing, yeah, maybe, but like, still, there's a lot of people around. Some masked, some not. And it's affecting me. It's enough for me to think about it. It's I'm considering it every time. And that transition, you know? Would I feel comfortable going into a Chinese restaurant? You know, let's say you go climbing, you guys meet up at, what's that place? Saga After, with the Chinese food. What's that, Mike?
Tremendous.
Tremendous.
yeah.
Let's say you go to
Tremendous.
Tremendous, and you know, what if the tables were like so packed again, where like your back is right up against someone else's back of another party?
I'd be worried about other things other than COVID. Tremendous, but I'd still
Whoa.
eat there.
Yeah.
Oh, but you'd still go?
I'd still, yeah.
Yeah, I still go Tremendous. Like, I miss Tremendous.
Yeah. Yo, that
But-
place has been closed down so many times.
Oh,
due to
really?
health code violations. it's like
Something about it, though. I don't know. That's just the
Yeah.
best water. Ice water is tremendous. I don't know why. But think of it like, I can't swim. I'm not a strong swimmer. The only way I'm going to feel comfortable in water is being in water. I'll start in the shallow end. So if you're going to go out and socialize, start in short increments. You should be out there, though.
Yeah.
Just to, yeah. And then slowly adjust back to, like, when things opened up here, at first it was like, okay, maybe 2 or 3 people, masks on, whatever. Then it was slowly, okay, CDC, I said I didn't have to have a mask when I walk outside. Okay, but when I went inside, I put on my mask. You know, like, then it was like slowly like, all right, people are more vaccinated, cases are down. You know, people are still pretty smart. Like, I haven't been around people with sniffles or anything. If I see someone with sniffles, I'd be like, hell no. You know, or
What if
like
it's
coughing
just-
or sneezing.
If it's just allergies, man.
I don't know you, unless I know you have allergies. But like, so yeah, something like that. Like, it was just slowly easing back into it, and now I'm like definitely comfortable. Like, you know, I've been inside bars like that are fully open inside with
Do
people
they-
actually like walking around, mask off and everything.
Oh, you don't have plexiglass anymore. Waitresses don't have.
No,
Waitresses
wait,
don't have.
waitresses still have that, but like, for example, my gym yesterday. So like, at my gym, at the YMCA, they're like, if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. People are there.
Double
wearing
dose?
masks. Yeah, double dose.
fully
Fully
vaccinated.
Yeah. So like, there are people there wearing masks. People there aren't wearing masks. Like, I'll wear my mask around people who are wearing their masks, so they feel more comfortable around me. But if they're not wearing their mask and stuff, like, I'm fully vaccinated, so I'm like, I'm okay removing my mask if I need to, you know. So it's more me showing respect to people with the masks on, and I'll put on my mask.
Well, you just weigh out your risks, right? Like if I wasn't vaccinated, then I'd have an issue. I at least have the first dose, so I have a little bit of protection. And then you just determine what kind of risk you're okay with when you go out and what you do.
And I see COVID patients at work, like, so I'm getting like micro inoculated anyway at work. Keep my immune system up. So I'm like, okay. I'm
Your
like,
antibodies up every time you work.
my antibodies are up.
They're shedding antibodies.
Yeah. So I'm
Um,
like,
all right. When are you gonna be ready to feel comfortable walking up to a bar and ordering a drink?
oh, I'm comfortable with that.
At a bar? Like walk
Yeah,
up
I've been
bar?
doing that.
Okay.
I would
Okay.
be. I'm good.
Already?
Once I'm
Like 3
once I'm
weeks.
fully vaccinated, I'm good to do whatever. Because
Really?
I've done everything on my part to protect myself. Aside from fully,
Buffet?
yeah, why not, man?
Are you do buffet too?
Cook the food properly, man. Yeah.
Well, where you self-serve, not even where there's servers and make you food. All that other stuff with the sneeze guards and everything. Mandarin, you know? All right. Well, okay. So there is this sense of confidence you get now with this vax. Even though it's not 100, 95 is good enough. 85 is good enough. 80 is good enough. Okay. I don't even know if that's huge in terms of my participation. I don't think it's
50% of Michigan fully vaccinated, about 50%, or just under 50%. And our cases have plummeted and everything's open. So like our cases aren't rising, they're still going down.
Mm-hmm.
So I watch the cases like every day. You know, if I saw the cases starting to spike up, then I'd be more worried about variants and everything. Then I'll be more cautious. But if I see the cases are continuing to go down, I'm like, all right. Like,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with it.
Do they still have limitations for like gatherings, like max number of people?
I don't think so.
Are there people like getting married now and having like parties of 100
Yeah,
and 150
full
again?
weddings. Yeah, dude, there's full weddings going on.
Mm.
Like Vegas is like fully open. Like clubs are open. I don't think the clubs here are fully open yet. There's some nightclubs that are open here. I mean, I haven't gone yet. But yeah, like things are pretty much open. Like they're having music festivals again in the US. Like Gov Ball's going on again. And I think Lollapalooza is going on again. Like so they're all coming back. Like it's kind of crazy when you think about it. But I mean, the cases are down significantly.
Like I'm watching the stands in these NBA games, and there was some recent music awards where audience people, yeah, they're all like, you know, they're packed. Like it looks like a full audience, but there's still masks.
Yeah.
I mean, are the masks necessary still?
You have 50% of the people who aren't vaccinated, and you have some people who just are.
I
not
think for those
comfortable being
events,
out
they
there.
have to be vaccinated to even go.
Oh.
But because I know Florida, like there's like a concert. If you're fully vaccinated, it's $14. If you're not vaccinated, it's $1,000.
What?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
They
What?
do shit like
Oh, that's so funny.
yeah, so they do shit like that. So I don't know. There's like different ways that these people,
Ingenious.
companies are like dealing with it. But like I think the mask stuff, you're gonna see that on like events and everything. And it's also to protect like the celebrities and athletes. So that's like a big thing. Why there's only for some arenas you're gonna see courtside, but other arenas you'll see like everything's kind of empty around the players.
Like the dude who threw his drink at Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
You know, you'd hope that guy's vaccinated. Or
So yeah,
Westbrook is.
So it's like that, but I don't know, cause like I went for a walk today, and it seems like everything's 100% capacity, the bars, everything.
Yeah, I mean that's good. I mean that's what we want. I do think similar here. Businesses should open. Like, it's not; those aren't where the cases are happening. You know, it's like close, confined indoor spaces for some workplaces, it's schools maybe, and private gatherings. But like a professional establishment is generally taking the right precautions and sanitation protocols to keep everything safe, right?
You guys are opening up in like a week or two.
It'll be like the first phase. Like the stay-at-home order just lifted like yesterday or 2 days
Yesterday,
ago.
so 2 more weeks, and then things start to open. Like gyms, maybe.
No, I think there's like tier systems. Like there's a tier system.
Yeah.
They'll let you know when it.
So
starts.
Paul, when you go to a club soon, I'm sure, are you wearing a mask?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I'll bring one, but I don't know yet. Like,
You know how dirty a club is. Like, I wouldn't even go to a club anymore.
You know what? Yeah.
You won't go to a club
I'm
anymore,
kinda old
man.
for a
I
club.
miss
Kind of old for a club.
live
dude, you know?
music,
Yeah,
drinks,
yeah. I'm
and
like,
dancing, man.
I think I'm done with clubs.
Okay,
I
maybe
would
not
go
a
to
club,
live
but
music one, though.
even a bar
been
though,
done.
like a live music bar. Yeah, like
Yeah, I'll go night owl.
yeah, like Night Owl with
What's
a
Night
live
Owl?
R&B hip hop. Oh, it's this. It's a bar on College, I think, where the basement has like a small stage, and there this band called Wing Night plays live R&B hip hop. They're a
Well, that
cover
sounds
band,
sick.
and
So good.
it's so good every time. I know the whole playlist, but it's so good every time. They play
That
90s,
sounds so
2000s.
cool.
Yeah,
That's sick.
and yeah, 4-piece band. Sometimes they bring in a female singer, and she does more like Faith Evans or like J Lo hip hop stuff or whatever, and or
Oh,
Mariah
that's
Carey.
sick. Oh, man, I want that.
And then yeah, drinks and people dancing because it's so hype. I want that. I miss that. I don't need the club where you pay cover, hang your coat, it's rammed, and then different rooms of loud music. I don't need that. I don't care about that anymore. I'd rather go to a bar, just watch a game.
Yeah.
I just want to go to a bar and have wings and drinks, alcohol and wings, where you could talk to random people and they won't think it's weird. You know, I want to talk to random people, not really pick up people, but that's part of it.
I can't wait till y'all come to Detroit. I got the perfect bar for you, bro.
All right, man, I'm coming. I'll just get my vaccines there. Can I get two in one?
Get the J&J.
J&J there.
Yeah, you can get the J&J here, yeah.
There you go. One and done.
Yeah.
I'm actually booked for my first
Hey, when?
20th.
Okay, that's pretty soon.
Yeah, the most recent date was like right when we're going camping. So I'm like, nope. So I go camping and then I get the vaccine.
So, Mike, remember last year? You know, none of us were vaxxed last year, but you had some concerns about before camping, right? Like if anyone had symptoms or anything like that, like
Yeah, there was a
quarantining
lot
and
of
stuff like that. Do you feel that this time?
At that time, I remember last year around that time, it was like bubbles, right? Everyone was in their own bubbles.
Mhm.
So I felt relatively comfortable with,
Yeah, I didn't feel
You guys.
scared about that at all.
and it's not like the numbers were the same as now. Like numbers last year were like in the hundreds, maybe less than 100.
Oh, shit. Ontario's 870 new cases.
Yeah, but now it's 800, but there's only like 3 or 4 of us, and
It's a lot
I at
better
least
than
have the-
3,000 and 2,000 though.
Yeah, well, and I have like me myself, I'm comfortable. I have the first vaccine, and
Yeah.
I know you guys have been isolated aside from seeing your family, FJ, and the skate park people. I
Skate
guess
park
you'd be
peeps.
the only one I'd be worried about.
Yeah, FJ is the only one.
But
I've seen-
we're gonna be
I-
outside, so
Yeah.
we're gonna be outside.
Just
easy
whoever
to
shares my
socially
tent,
distance.
just know.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm not up on people's faces. Don't worry about that. But still socially distancing. Outdoors. But yeah. Is Ren still here?
Yeah.
I mean, I see him.
Yeah,
in there.
Zoom
I'm
call.
gaming.
You're I was just
Like-
gonna ask. I was gonna ask
Oh.
what you wanted to kind of touch on with your recommendation for this subject. If you had anything you wanted to talk about. Hold
Nah,
on,
it
let me
just
pause.
Loneliness sucks,
Loneliness sucks.
but everybody goes through it, you know.
I think.
How do you deal with it? Did we talk about how you deal with it?
No.
Well,
Well, at least I don't know from what I've
Paul
seen.
said go out, just increments, right?
Go out. You just go
Yeah.
out.
And cold call people.
Cold call people. Yeah. But in like normal times, yeah, in normal times, you'd be reaching
Like,
out.
like
Yeah.
3 a.m. Yo, bro. Can't sleep. What's up?
I'm the same. I'm probably up at 3 a.m.
Like, I'm
early.
lonely. Right,
That's so early.
I'm lonely right now.
What are you wearing?
Oh, it went there.
No.
Jeez, jeez.
Red tank top. red sandal. Red sandal.
I mean, there's definitely been moments or like times in my life where I reached out for that purpose, you know. Usually as a consolation thing, grieving part after a relationship or whatever, where I felt I reached out. But even in this past year, I felt certain nights where I reached out more than normal, where you'd be like, hey guys, anyone want to watch a movie? Hey guys, who's down to watch this today or whatever? And you could tell when, because I mean, that doesn't happen that often. And it's cool when it does. This whole back to Day-Day's neediness, loneliness versus neediness. I think maybe it's a threshold thing too, but like it almost felt like, oh, I have to prove to people that I can be single for a while. Because I was like that friend, you know, where I didn't go very long in between relationships and I always found myself in a new one. This time, it could have been different. Maybe if COVID wasn't here, I may be in a relationship by now just because of exposure to more potential. But I'm here. And like, I'm done with it. I don't need to prove it anymore. I don't feel the need to be in a romantic relationship, but I definitely want it. I want it, and I know a family is what I want eventually, and I'm gonna need that for that, but it's not the need for that that makes me want it. I just want it. And there's that thing too, it like, you know, to be a suitable partner, guy who's driven, who wants a lot or whatever. But what if, I thought about that when that woman was like, I no longer am interested in advancing my career, just wants to be someone's hot wife. I thought about where I am in my life and like, all right, let's see, what else do I want? Do I really want a huge house anymore? I had a conversation today with he's not much older than me, a few years older than, like, young 40s, has 2 kids, wife, big house, nice cars. And he's like, I got all that now. What do I want? A bigger house? I don't want a bigger house. Do I want a faster car? Do I want, like, to travel more? No. So what is it? Why doesn't he feel fulfilled? He did feel fulfilled. He reached, you know, getting married, building a family, getting a home, owning his home and all that. He reached his, I guess, financial goals.
Like, see, those are for other people, right? Like, that's what you're told you should like,
Yeah.
but not necessarily
Those are
what
all-
he actually
Yeah.
needs.
He
Those
he
are all,
said
like,
he
check boxes that people want to
he-
check, and then they
he
check
felt-
it. But there still might be some, like, if he feels a certain way that he's not fulfilled, that's something that you have to think about yourself.
Yeah. He told me about The Power of Now, and I should read The Power of Now, and that's what he's looking into. But yeah, where he felt that fulfillment not deteriorated, but it wasn't holding on its own. So eventually, yeah, maybe not emptiness. I forget the word he used, but it's trying to figure out, like, living
Life's purpose.
your life. Well, maybe not even life's purpose, but there's a certain level of, like, enlightenment of feeling complete in the moment, or being present. Apparently that's the thing, like, being present in the moment. Most of the time we're focused on something else that we have to do after. How often do you really feel that you're being present in the moment, not thinking about what's going to happen after the podcast or tomorrow or this weekend? And I think as he was describing it to me, I don't know, I generally feel like I'm in the moment. I try to appreciate, I think good listeners are generally present in the moment, right? They're listening intently, not worried about future. Doesn't happen all the time. Anyway. So is that it? Treating loneliness with forcing yourself to go out?
I mean, if
Well,
that's
you
what
could
you
still
want,
feel lonely going out.
yeah. But hey, how else are you gonna treat it?
Yeah.
You can still feel lonely with a group of people. So have you guys ever felt that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what kind of loneliness was it then?
It's like people people that talk, but you don't you don't feel seen, I think.
Or like you're not connecting with them
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
moment. You're not in the moment with them, or you're not connecting to the group of people around you.
Is it a personal condition, or is it because of those people, or it could be either, I guess.
I think it was personal for me.
Yeah, I think it's more, yeah. So like if something's going on in my head and I could try to go to a party, and then I go to the party and then I feel absent because I'm still in my head. And so it's not really like none of these people that I'm talking to are doing anything for me. Not literally doing things for me. I mean, like they're not. I don't feel engaged, and I feel like a stranger. I'm like, why am I here? But you know, you're doing it to try to feel better. But sometimes that's not. Sometimes that's not good, and then you end up feeling way worse, and then you just leave, and then you walk home by yourself.
I've done that.
Dan said
Yeah, I've
that's
done
how he
that
felt in
often.
Winnipeg. And that's when he
Yeah.
felt that the drive to improve himself is what allowed him to get out of it.
I may agree with Dan there. Self-improvement has often been like a turning point for me.
Yeah, I felt like that when I was in Saginaw, like when I first moved there, because like everyone was just so different from like people I hung out with, like different interests, different like upbringings, different things. But then so like that was like yeah, it felt kind of lonely because like no one understood the jokes, no one understood anything.
Yeah, you
I
don't
was, like,
connect to them.
yeah, I wasn't connecting with anyone. But you know what I learned from that was I don't care about their opinion. Literally, that's how I actually like learned. I was like, oh, I'll just do me. I'll just keep doing what I do. Like I feel like why do I actually need their approval? Like yeah. So that's how I kind of learned it. Like from that, that's the lesson I learned from it. But yeah, that sense of loneliness.
All right, help me out, guys, with this rut. Yeah, that desire to be in a relationship is... I don't think it's a contributing factor to the rut, but it's a reminder of of something that I've wanted for a while that I haven't gotten yet, or that I haven't achieved yet. But self-improvement. Not to say I'm perfect. I'm not. But I've reached a point where I'm very confident and like proud of myself. So it's like, okay, yeah, I can run again, and I can do 10Ks again every week, or I can work out and do 100 things, 100 workout reps a day again. I've done that. And it didn't really help. Like, maybe it occupied me for a certain amount of time, or that little bit of dopamine of, all right, I hit my numbers today. I hit the target today. I ran today. That's the level of achievement was what I was getting, but improving myself, I wasn't feeling that. Like, I wasn't feeling like I was really getting anywhere further than where I've already reached. So maybe
you
that...
Maybe
do you
it
get
doesn't have to be a
fulfillment?
physical thing.
Yeah, like do you get actually like how do you when you work out you feel like you've checked that box, but does it actually like, do you feel fulfilled in it? Like, are you happy with yourself in a way?
When
Because
I
are
was
you doing these? Why are you doing these extra things? These things to self improve yourself? Are you doing it? What's your reason for it? Is the base reason, oh, I got to work out so I can get a girl, or is it like I want to work out
Oh
because I want to get
no.
myself better?
Well, when I was working out with Dan last 2 years ago or whatever that was,
Mhm.
for the Murphs, that was personal gains, and also with the there was an affiliated goal there with like, so I could look ripped and pick up a hot chick. But then
Mhm.
the 100 thing that I started doing, or the running group that we did, was purely just to do it for the quantity, to hit the target. It wasn't about, oh, I want to look ripped again to find someone. I don't think I need to do that. Like, not to say that I'm perfect again, like I'm being conceited. I just feel like I don't really need to do that. But I was doing the 100 thing because I wanted something sustainable that I could say I've done every day for the rest of my life and be healthy and live longer and healthier. And I did it for 100 days, and then I was like, I'm not feeling like it's doing anything. Or it could have been that wall that I hit when I ran that one day, and I hit that mental wall, and it's just, I haven't bounced back from it, but it's like, I can be in bed for like, I don't know what it is. I don't know.
You know what makes you feel real good? Is helping people. So
Yeah.
like when I go on runs, sometimes I pick up garbage. Sometimes I walk with old ladies across the street. And like that makes me feel better than the run.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just have to do a good thing. Just be a nice guy. Hold some doors. Like talk to random people. Like you could just do, okay, every time I go on a run, I'm gonna talk to one stranger. Could be a girl, could be an old man, could be a little kid. Maybe not a little kid by themselves. That looks bad. Yeah, we don't want to get in trouble. But like I think it could make a difference. Like when I do it, I don't really think about doing it. I'm like, why is there fucking garbage next to this creek? That's shit. So I pick it up and I run with it until I find somewhere I can dump it. And that makes me feel good. I'm like, good deed for the day kind of thing. But when you help somebody with something they need, that feels even better. So like, volunteer at a soup kitchen. That's what my mom always tells me. And I did it one time back when I was younger. If you have extra time, you could do some really good shit. And it'll make you feel really good. And at a soup kitchen, you could talk to all these strangers, really. And you could get to know somebody who has it way worse than you. Not to say that you do that just to feel better, but to gain a perspective. For me, it was always like I always build myself up and I get cocky basically, and I need something to knock me back down. But being knocked down is not a bad thing. It's just being humbled again. And once you get back to a humble self, you will be more forgiving, you will be more giving, you will be more loving, and all these are good things. So it doesn't have to be about running far. It doesn't have to be about getting good at a video game. You can really just go out and volunteer somewhere a couple hours a week, and you might find the change you're looking for.
That's good advice. It's different. It's different from my usual method of trying to help on a macro scale. Most of what I think my method of helping or reaching out to help is like, you're right, listening on a random encounter. Like that example when I went to that skate park and then, within 5 minutes I found out some very personal things about someone. But like when I put content out whether it be, yeah, I don't have to advertise that stuff, but like, yeah, I agree. Helping others or feeling like someone found something that I did helpful is nice. Maybe I need to just do more of that again and push myself to do more. But it's the push. It's like the motivation. Like if you're stuck in something,
It is hard to get out of that though.
Yeah. Well, at these times are very like it's a pandemic and you're staying at home. You're sort of forced to stay in this one environment that you've lived in. This kind of usually we'd say get out of that environment, but you're sort of
I
forced
know.
to stay in that environment. So how can you change that environment design? Maybe is there something in your environment that's affecting this rut? Is there something that you can change in that environment, or
well, I
Maybe
need to
your
get out of here
environment's
more.
too
Yeah,
comfy.
it's
It's too comfy. It's too good. It's too easy to go from your bed to your setup and.
oh yeah. I'm trying to.
There's nothing pushing you out.
I'm trying to
Get
put
rid of
myself
all
out
your
of
shit.
the comfort zone.
like I'm trying to remember those times where I like was in bed at unnatural times, and
Yep.
after that moment where I was like my sleep was completely backwards and all I did was like play StarCraft. After that I was like, man, I never want to get to that point again. So obviously I've done that a couple times, but it's not like my mind was in that state back then, because back then it was really bad. So I'm also trying to remember the times when I woke up early naturally, and that was in like when I was in New Zealand. I'd wake up at 8 a.m. just because I woke up at 8 a.m. and I'd think like, why am I up at 8 a.m.? I think it's because like I can go out and do these things that are in this area. So that's why I sometimes say to you guys, or like I find if I need to fix my sleep, I have to find something that'll get me up in the morning, or like have a task that'll force me, not necessarily force me, but motivate me to get me up in the morning.
Yeah, like you have to wake up and you have to do it. Like,
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
those
Does
are
you
really
enjoy
good.
doing something?
It's just
Yeah.
with me, it sucks because after you do the thing you have to do, I crash, and then it's like, here we go again. Fuck. Like it sucks.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
For your rut, like I think Kyle said it, where it's just like helping people, like finding that energy just to care for something. You want to care for someone or something, right?
Mhm.
So for real, like I know this is like cheesy as hell, but I mean, my plants and my cat, like literally,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
time for a puppy.
yeah, like, but even like, because I have this energy of just like wanting, like honestly, if I actually think about it, my probably happy place right now is when I'm just sipping coffee in the morning, looking at my plants and watering them, and like it's freaking bomb. Like I don't know how else to explain it. Just seeing them grow and
Yeah,
seeing
growing
like,
things is nice.
and like I actually care for them. Like I care for their well-being. I care for my cat's well-being. It's like caring for that sort of stuff kind of like scratches that itch of like wanting to care for something or someone, you know?
That's interesting because
Mm.
Yeah,
Twice
same
a
with
week.
me. I have to wake up,
With
record
Kyle's
the
twice a week I had to teach the kid. I meet with him for like an hour on Tuesday and Thursday. And yeah, those are the things that would fight the bad sleeping habits, because I had to wake up earlier than I would normally wake up. And I did feel good going to meet him, listening to him, because yeah, he's going, man, it's tough for kids right now. Like being forced to learn on a computer, and they need like social interaction, and they don't even have established social circles and friend circles like we have here. Like they're still trying to define who they are and define who their circle is, and who it's tough. So yeah, and interesting, yeah, this rut got worse when the 2 days became 1 day, because the Tuesday he had something else come into his schedule on Tuesday, and the last few weeks I only saw him once a week, which is also the only day that I would have to wake up earlier than I normally do. And it's affected me too, because I guess I didn't feel like I was helping as much as I did before. Yeah, I see it. I see that impact. I'm trying now whenever I get any opportunity where I'm going to have to take part in something that's going to be new, or if there's going to be new people, even if I don't feel entirely comfortable with it right away, I'm forcing myself to accept and be like, okay, I'm in. I'll go. Something out of this norm, this daily get up, go to my computer and figure out something content to make, or stream, or play COD, or come on Discord, try to read and fail, not read. That was a nice day. That day where I read for whatever that was until I got sleepy and I went back to sleep. But yeah, I played some like cool classical music while I was reading, and it was helping me stay in tune with what I was reading. It was nice. That was like a week ago. So anyway. Okay.
Are you a pet person? Just wondering. Like, no.
I think I'd love a dog, but cost.
Yeah, they cost
And
a lot. They cost a
another
lot
reason
over
too
here.
why I
Even
don't
for
like to go
adopting?
out and do things. It still costs me a lot, even though I
Well,
adopt
the
one.
maintenance even
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're expensive.
And for me to feel like I want to do something, I want to go out and shoot. I try to go out and force myself. Like, man, I bought a new lens. Let's go out and shoot. Let's take more photos. But it's like, man, I gotta drive far away to do that, and I don't want to spend on gas, and I want to keep my costs low, and I don't know. I'm always finding an excuse or a reason to make these probably positive decisions for me to force myself out of this space. I'm coming up with things that hinder it. So I should just not do that. I'll try that. Definitely need to spend more time out of here. And yeah, comfort, yeah, is the one thing. Kyle, I get what you're saying. I mean, I had to set it up in a certain way that was functional. But now that function is it's every day. So it's like, yeah, a change in environment is pretty key here, I think. So.
Or just go out on a hike.
Earlier, I was thinking like winter has me trapped in here. And so it's sad to see like when it's nice out, you still choose to be in there.
Well, the sun is something I avoid. So when it's hot in the winter and it's sunny, I can still wear long sleeves and wear sunglasses and a hat and snowboard and do all those things. In the summer, I can't really do that. So I want to run at night. I would rather run at night because it's dark and I don't get as much sun exposure and shit. So, or I mean, I did it before where I would wear the running sleeves and wear a lot more sunscreen and all that. I don't like sunscreen. Yeah, I just gotta force myself. I gotta force myself to just do it anyway. Things that put me in discomfort. For the greater good of getting me out of the rut, I should just do it. I should wear sunscreen, wear long sleeves, and go outdoors.
Like I said in a previous talk, I don't know if this is what you need, but for me, I had to hit a point where I was fed up with myself.
Rock bottom.
Rock bottom.
I hit that
And
years ago.
well, clearly not, because
Clearly
you're not
not.
doing anything.
What do you know?
That
Excuse
point
me? Excuse
forces
me?
you- No, I'm saying like right now, you're not changing. Like it literally.
Oh,
is
you
the
want me to hit
point-
rock bottom again? Oh, I mean, no, I'm not
Well,
rock
just
bottom.
in your rut, to get out of the rut, I'm saying, I don't know if this is what you need, but for me, like I had to just basically hate myself enough to do it. Like I was fed up with myself. I hated myself, and I was like, if this keeps going on, something real bad is gonna happen. And I always say, I'm not letting my parents bury another child, and I go. So that is what I have done.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you need to do this, but like just saying, yeah, I need to do it. Yeah, I need to do it. I've been there too. And something has to push you to do it. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
I hope you find that.
All right. I don't necessarily think that's rock bottom. When I think of rock bottom and my definition of what I experienced my rock bottom, I don't want that ever to happen again. So I will not let myself go back there. Maybe it's a different rock bottom. Maybe it's a new stage of rock bottom or whatever. But when you mention rock bottom, that's where I went. 31, 7 years ago. So when I said excuse me, it's because I took that like it was like a challenge. Like, what, I didn't hit it? Yes, I did. So, but in terms of like I have to feel really shitty about myself, I don't though. Because I don't feel like I have something to be so disappointed in myself because I've reached here. The rut is something. And it's a combination of a lot of things. The relationship thing is part of it. It's work too. Not feeling like I'm earning, or I'm earning what I know I could earn, or doing something that's meaningful and value to people. Content creation is like, I have to figure out what that could be and then put it out there and hope it is that. And yeah, the last projects haven't been great. So yeah, I have to hit a point where I hate myself. I don't know, man. Do I? I don't know if that's necessarily like a necessary requirement where I need to hate myself in order for me to better myself, because like I'm not.
I think
against
you have to like just
whatever you need. I hope you find it. And like I said again, I do not know if that is what you need. I was just letting you know what I needed.
Yeah, it's not necessarily hating yourself. It's like what Dan said. You just hit a breaking point. It doesn't mean you have to hit rock bottom and be like, this is the absolute worst situation that I'm in right now. Now I should start changing. It's like you'll just hit a point where it's like, okay, it's time now.
Well, the rut's been 3 months, but you guys have heard about it maybe in the last 2-3 weeks, and it's getting, it got worse in the last 2-3 weeks, where it's like I'm in bed, and it's like, and this long stretch where I'm, maybe it's not hating myself, but it's like, man, this isn't right. This isn't right.
How many BrackCasts have we done?
22. This is the 22nd.
22? Okay. 22nd week. Okay.
Yeah.
So you said 3 months. You only told us in 3 weeks, but 3 weeks doesn't sound right for me. It's like, maybe you told us in 3 weeks, but in my head, I'm like, I feel like I knew that you were in a rut.
Well, yeah, the wall hit me 3 months ago. The wall hit me 3 months ago. Like, that physical thing where that happened, and where, but I still had like work, like I had more work then, and I was snowboarding then. I was waking up at like 6-7 in the morning to go snowboarding. It was nice. It was still good. It wasn't like this, where I'd go to bed at 9 or 10 in the morning and then stay in bed till like 5-6 p.m. like, because there's no reason to be up. So I'm acknowledging that it was a struggle then too, you're right. But everyone was struggling to a certain level, and that was mine. But yeah, maybe this is it. It's like, man, I need to do something about it. So, I mean, I'm going out tomorrow, going out Saturday, I'm trying to go out again next week. I tried skateboarding, been a couple times. I'm trying things. But yeah, haven't found it yet.
I think that's all you can do, though.
I think once things open, then like definitely things will be different.
Yeah, it's hard with these. It's always hard with this pandemic thing.
I mean, this is literally like a global, life-changing, generational thing. Like,
Black Swan event. That's it.
Yeah, this is like people. I mean, the world was pretty much ending. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Like
when you think about it at that, it's like, man, the shit we are dealing with is so trivial and so small.
No, it's but like, yeah, definitely. I think, you're in a rut now, but you're already working at it. Once time and opportunity meet, then it'll click and you'll get out of that rut. You know, maybe the
Yeah.
timing's terrible and the opportunity's there, but timing's terrible, or you know, just has to line up. So
Yeah. The way I see it, it's like we're past. I'm assuming we're past the worst part, but even going through this pandemic, it's like you know that you can't do these certain things, and you're always alone, and you're in this situation now, and you know that later on it's going to get better, and you'll be able to go out. So you think about what are your issues now, or what were your issues before pandemic, and then this is the time to do whatever you can to prepare yourself to be out later. So whatever it is that'll make you feel better now, do it. Or self-improvement, it's the same same kind of thing. It's just another way of saying it. It's like, what can you do now? You say you can't do much now, but what can you do now to prepare yourself for when things open up again, and be able to meet new people, see new things? You know what I mean? Because if you don't try anything now, everything's gonna be open, and you're still gonna feel the same way when you get out there if nothing changes now, right?
I'd be going out,
For
I
me,
guess.
Well, yeah, but for me, it's like an opportunity now to be ready for later. Opportunity now to get to
Prepare
on yourself.
myself to be ready.
to be ready later.
to have your debut back out there.
It's like
Yeah,
I have to get ready for this surge of events that I'm gonna have to photograph. I should be ready.
Yo,
yeah.
trust me, like since things opened up here, like social calendar's been insane. Like it's literally like everyone wants to do something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wish I actually had more time to get ready. Like,
Yeah, so working out.
yeah, like I was like, yeah, people were like, oh, we gotta go to this beach or we gotta go to this pool, and I'm just like, no, like, no, like,
Yeah. So the
like-
situation where Paul's in, that's like a glimpse of where potentially we're gonna be in like a
Yeah.
month or two, right?
In a month,
So
yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
Got a month to get shredded.
not necessarily shredded, like if it's like a mental issue, like then
Well, it's
find
what you
ways to
guys
deal
said.
with
It's like you had a reason to wake up in that time because you had something to do. Well, I don't.
Mhm.
So it's
I know you
probably-
don't, but what can you do? Given your circumstance, what can you do?
I guess
you're gonna decide to do
I'll,
nothing.
I'll fill it in with something else I could do.
Yeah.
The things that I've wanted to do that I was like felt low energy to do, I should just do it.
Man, I have accomplished. Okay, one of my goals that I wanted to do for the longest time was the Lord of the Rings run, going straight Lord of the Rings, and I accomplished that last year. I was so happy. I was just thinking about that. I was like,
accomplishment.
yeah, I was like, because I'm working almost full time. I'm like, even a weekend, I'm not gonna put my time into watching all Lord of the Rings. It's never gonna happen.
COVID did it.
So when the pandemic happened, I'm like, holy shit, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Anyway, that's just a random. I don't know why I brought that up. I just
that's great.
just thought about that.
Actually, I wanted to ask you,
Part of that.
Mike, was like when Ren suggested loneliness, and you said, "Yeah, you've been thinking a lot about that lately," right, or something like that. Mike?
Yeah,
He was
because we're
thinking
talking
the
about
same
it.
thing.
Same thing, yeah, because it fits. It's not necessarily rejection, because rejection is a different thing than loneliness. So having a whole thing just on the feeling of loneliness I thought was a good idea.
Okay, not something personally you've reflected on.
Well, everyone feels, everyone has felt or feels that way. So
Yeah,
yeah, so I remember the times when I felt that way. I'm just trying to think of like the situation you're in, because we talk about it a lot. We even had a time when we talked about
Mm-hmm.
we were talking for like a couple hours. and
Yeah.
and if you look back at all our BrackCasts, all of our the things we think about or the things that bother us, it comes up when we come up every Thursday.
Yeah.
You ever notice
That's
that?
an opportunity for us to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but like there's things that are always on our mind that bother us that come up every week when we talk, because it's a different subject, but somehow you bring something up from the past that
Yeah. Well, so we've all remembered times where we hit low and like what we needed to do to jump out of it. And okay, that was an example of what you would do for a friend who's explaining he's going through it. Like, you guys have all expressed what you suggest for me to do to get out of the rut, right? This loneliness, right? I guess it's kind of, loneliness is part of it. Is there, besides, what was it that Dan said? Besides the breaking point, which I mean I'm hitting, I was allowing myself to get to this point, and I don't want to do it for much longer. I don't want to do it anymore. So, yeah. If you would give yourselves, like, looking back to when you were in your bottoms, in your rock bottoms, or in your own struggle, what would you have said to yourself then? What would you have advised yourself then? In retrospect, looking back to what you needed.
I wouldn't say anything. I mean, if I was at the rock bottom, that's where I'm gonna actually just go up. So I don't really say
nowhere to
anything.
go but up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true too. Me, I'm saying the things that I would like to have told myself back then, but I know back then I wouldn't have listened to myself.
Invest in GameStop. AMC.
I put a limit order for AMC today. Anyway,
Are you serious?
Super low.
Are you listening?
Super low. Super low. Super low.
Are you listening? Are you listening to this, Dede? Come on.
Super low. Let's see if it
Dude,
goes
don't
back
fall
down.
for the hype. Yo, don't fall for
If
this
it goes
hype,
back
man.
down, and then it'll go back up again.
Oh my god.
It's volatile. It's super low. It's super low. It's just like getting in on GameStop.
Oh my
Anyway.
goodness.
Stay hard.
Man, there's better things to buy, just saying. Anyway, that's unrelated.
I know. Okay. So you said you know that you would not have listened to yourself.
Yeah, because my mind, like, as much as I would like to have said these things to myself back then, I know in my mind it doesn't make sense,
Oh, so
Kind
it
of
needs to be self-actualized.
I don't know. I don't know how. I just eventually got out of it. Yeah, maybe something will just click and then you'll find a way out.
This was StarCraft, you said, yeah? I don't know. I don't think I really
Yeah,
knew
that's
that.
all the same,
I
all
don't
the
think I
same
knew
time,
that,
all
yeah.
the same time, all the same time.
All right. So, Kyle, anything?
Probably not. I learned a lot from that, and kind of like you, it's much easier for me to get fed up and turn around because of where I was before. And like you said, I don't want to get there again. So it's like much easier to preemptively get your shit together than go to the actual rock bottom. So to learn that, I had to do it. So I wouldn't, what can I tell myself, right? Like,
Yeah.
it gets better. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, words of encouragement. Yeah.
Maybe like, hey, what you learn from this experience is gonna help you later on.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, okay, sure. But I would kind of be like Mike. I'd be like, shut the fuck up. I'm pissed off right now.
Because you're in the feelings, or it's like it's like talking to someone who's depressed, or
Like, I remember trying.
Well, that's different, but I mean, that's an
extreme version, but
it's not exactly different. Actually, it's almost the same. There's the level of depression here. I mean, look at me. Like, I'm smiling. You can hear it in my tone. I'm still active. I'm still running this thing today. Not that I'm running it, but I'm with it today. I'm not in a terrible place. I'm not. It's not be like, oh shit, FJ's fucked up. I'm not. I know I'm in a rut, and I don't know what else to call it, because when I think of the word rut, it just feels like I'm stuck. For the last year, yeah, I've been waiting for things to change. I've been waiting. I'm still waiting. Waiting's fine. It's about a question of patience, but the stuck part was different. Like, stuck is involuntary, being patient for things to open up and change again, for me to get more work again, for me to have more energy to do things and to feel driven to play. Part of the reason why I worked out a lot, Murph wise, or ran a lot then, was I wanted to be better at basketball. I saw that when I did the Murphs and I ran 10Ks, 15Ks, that when I went to run my Wednesday run basketball, I was way better. Like I ran much faster. I had way more like physicality, and like my finishes were better. My vertical was better. It made me a better basketball player, and I had that. But I haven't played basketball in over a year now, and it's like, so maybe I don't have that. I should get ready for that. And I want to play soccer again, so I should get ready for soccer again. Yeah, so there's things. You're right. I'm taking things from today, for sure, to prepare myself for when things go back, because it's gonna be soonish. Soonish, hopefully. But yeah, I'm not in a terrible spot. I just do feel stuck more than usual, and I'm being vocal about it because I can't. Why not?
Why not? Call spade a spade. That's fine.
But thanks. All right. Let's hope I don't bring it up again.
No,
I'm not saying don't bring it up.
Well, to the point where I don't have to. It'll happen. I'm
Okay,
optimistic. I generally think I'm an optimistic person. It's gonna be okay. Just trying something different than trying to solve it on my own all the time. I've done that.
Like before things opened up, I could probably count 3 friends in Detroit. And now that things have opened up, through these 3 friends, I've met like a bunch of other friends. And it's just been like friends of friends, where it's literally I could just text the friend of a friend and be like, "Hey, you're free? You want to hang out?" And they're like, "Yeah, for sure." So like it's just exponential. Like once things open up, like your social life, and and that relates to dating too. It's like you'll be able to meet people through other people, and like it just becomes this whole exponential thing.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing too. I think. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead. Fine.
For a long time in my life, I always wanted to make more friends. I wanted to have a lot of friends. That hasn't really been the case in the last bit. I don't necessarily feel like I'm looking for more friends. Or I'm never closed to making new friends, but I'm not looking to make new friends. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does, but it's always nice.
Yeah, like they're not reaching out.
It's always nice,
it's not,
though.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I'm never gonna be closed to someone offering friendship, but again, taking it back to the whole dating app thing, where you say looking for long-term, short-term friends or hookup or casual. I used to think that, oh, yeah, I'm looking for friends, but I'm not. It's not true. I don't need any more friends. You guys are great. I'm not gonna be closed to making new ones. But I think there was a level of like feeling contented.
Okay, yeah.
With what I have, and like it's not. I don't feel like I need new. And I know it's different, obviously, Paul, because you're in a new city, establishing new circles, and yeah, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. I'm not saying that in that scenario.
Yeah.
But I think it took a certain level of like acceptance of where I was anymore. Because I think my function of like friends growing up I wanted to be friends with people that I looked up to, and I wanted validation from, and like wanted their respect. And yeah, I guess the more I grew confident in who I am and proud of who I was as a person, I didn't need that validation from other people anymore. So, but yeah, that's that.
Yeah, well, I'm the same. I feel like I don't need any more new friends, but it's still really nice. Like I'd be climbing and I'd still meet like new groups of people that I could, join in their friends group, and I'd be like, oh, this is cool. I have like a new friend group that I could join, and
Yeah.
and then I end up meeting even more people. I'm like, oh, and then you get into, once you talk to these new friends, you get more new insight into like, completely new different things and different.
Yeah.
You don't get stuck in your like little bubble
Yeah.
of.
The skate circle
one
was
way.
Was a new one for me. I was like, oh,
Yeah, because they think
Okay.
different. Yeah, like climbing people think different from gaming people, think different from skate people.
yeah,
Definitely.
snowboarders,
They all think
people,
different. Yes.
basketball people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it seems like, with the recurring theme of you wanting to meet a new person, and we talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's like,
Exposure, like
yeah, exposure. Like how far, like how Paul was saying was like, you meet 3 people and you meet their friends, right? And
Mhm.
that's, through their friends. But how far can you get that? How far can you get with, something that's online? How far can you get? Can you get to that second degree with like someone who's online? Like maybe
Yes.
someone. That's what you did.
Yeah.
I mean, I have, but yeah, I don't want to rely on that, but I have. So
I mean, it's possible. Like, going back to the single, whatever, friends, like looking for friends, relationships, serious, whatever. The girl's gonna decide after they meet you, okay, what they're looking
Yeah.
for.
yeah,
I don't see it as a red light or anything. I'm just like, you're gonna decide when I meet you.
oh, true. That's what you mean. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Look here, I want to see your Hinge profile, and I kind of, because like I closed my Hinge, so I can't use it anymore because I have a girl now, so I can't. But I want to see your Hinge profile, and I kind of want to use it and see what it's like.
You want to log into my Hinge profile?
Yeah, in Toronto.
Catfish. He wants to
Okay,
catfish people.
okay. This is gonna be.
No,
I don't.
I want to make the profile. I want to like, because I know I can sell you.
I know I can sell you.
I know I can sell you.
Yeah.
Dude.
Okay.
When did you last use it?
Just
when did you last
yesterday.
use it?
Just yesterday.
Okay,
I was
like,
I made
there's a
myself
lot.
swipe 20
Yeah.
times or 25 times. It's about 5 in 100.
I believe that.
120,
Maybe like 10 in
130.
100. 10 in 100, maybe. Like 10 in 100. I believe that.
I have to sweep more or something. But I'm trying to be patient and put in the time to swipe more just to see if those exist.
Send me a video of your profile.
All right, sure.
Put it on the
Yeah.
screen now. Share your screen, FJ. Share your screen.
No, but we've talked about this. I talked about this at like with Mike too. It was really late, but like I think my age and what I'm looking for and whatever plays a pretty big role in like my target demographic and my demographic. I'm not showing up in my target demographic, in their radar. I'm not in their radar because of my age.
Fair.
That makes sense. I think, at least that's what I've
Where does your target demographic hang out?
hang out, like location.
What do they usually do? Like, what are their hobbies, would you say?
I don't know.
Late 30s, early 40s? Is that the demographic?
And how-
Oh, my target
how-
demographic is mid 20s to mid 30s.
You don't want to.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Like,
That's very.
wondering what
yeah,
your
that's,
leeway is. Like, how much wiggle room do you have in your demographic?
Like more wiggle in years, like 10 years of a window. You're saying, like
I mean,
Is-
like,
yeah, are you talking age or interests?
no,
Age,
aesthetics,
age.
interest, everything. Like, what is your wiggle room? Like, is it like,
Mm.
okay, this person's not exactly what I like, but yeah, I'll give it a shot. Like, do you ever do that?
I'm pretty picky, I gotta say. I'll admit. I'm just saying
Okay,
for
good. Like, I've given people shots, and I was like pleasantly surprised. Like,
and then your
I'll-
other story.
Yeah.
yeah, I know. like my
Well,
current girl, definitely like her profile. She was actually like heavier in her profile than what she
Ah.
is in real life because she's been working out and she's been eating right and she's got a trainer and everything. But like when I saw her, I was pleasantly surprised, and I was like, oh, okay, you know. So it's really like, and that was one of those I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. She's cute, whatever, you know. And that's when I was like,
it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you do have to sometimes, like you have those heuristics for yourself, but sometimes you have to go outside of them and try them anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was super strict. I had a lot of personal rules. I like me and Michelle joke about it. Like I have a lot of personal rules. I'm like, no, never this, not that. And I was like strict. Like my sisters could probably tell you this. Like I was such a fucking hard ass on myself, as much as other people, like expectations wise.
Yeah.
But I think it was around the time like me and Michelle. Like it was around the time when I was open to dating, even though I wasn't actively doing it, where I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna do things that seem like fun, and just keep doing that. Like, just follow that. Just not giving a fuck about your own personal rules.
yeah,
Essentially.
yeah. There was a lot of that kind of like exiting that for me,
Mhm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like I remember I felt like I was in a rut, like in the dating apps, like maybe earlier, like late 2020 ish, like mid to late 2020. And then I was like, you know what? Let me actually start swiping on white girls because I've never swiped on white girls. And then
That's all I swipe
I was
on.
getting matches, and I was like, dude, what the hell? Like, you know, and it was like, okay, like that really, you know, opening your horizons. You never know like what you're gonna actually like get and what you see and everything, you know.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I've actually joked about this with Michelle before. Like, I thought I had a type. Like, you guys know my history, so you know what my type previously was.
Yo, that's so true.
That's true.
I only knew
So
one.
Michelle's
Wait a
here.
minute.
I
and
only
she
knew
knows
one.
this.
Yeah.
And yeah, same
Yeah.
one as you like
Did it-
Kyle, yeah.
Did I only know one? I only knew one,
What?
right?
You only met one.
You like Kyle, man. It's like Trini people, bro.
Yeah. But it's funny because then when you don't have these strict rules, you find out, oh, it's not this one thing, it's this more abstract thing that you're looking for. Like
Yeah.
your horizons broaden, and like your idea of what could work is much bigger than what it was before. Like
I've
at
heard
least that's how I feel.
conflicting opinions to what you guys are saying right now, though. And not to say it's wrong,
From
but I've heard
No, it's
conflicting
at least
things to what you just
See
said.
what's out there and give it a shot.
Like
we're
I
not telling
said,
you to, like, change
I've
it.
adopted that. Certain days I'm less picky than other days where I'm super picky. You know, I've gone down to the not down, but I've been as loose to even saying it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is, as long as they're willing to reciprocate while I'm willing to give. Of course, provided I'm also attracted to them. But that's what it came like. That's as loose as it's been, where it's like it doesn't matter. And all the other stuff that I used to be super, or that I can be very picky about, you know, like whatever it can be, visually or interest level or diet or smoking or, you know, yeah, sometimes I'll be like super stringent and rich and restrictive, and then other days I'll be like, well, let's give this a shot. So I float on both sides of that spectrum. But yeah, Paul, I have some comments about your profile thereafter.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I was watching it. I was like, damn,
Fire, right? Fire, right?
It's a good profile,
we
yeah.
worked hard on it. It's like, I would
Wait,
on
what?
that.
Did he share it somewhere?
Yo, you got away with the shirtless pic because you're in water. That's how you got.
Exactly. No. I've made profiles for for my two
Oh,
two
you have
female
the
friends
gym
and one
one
male
too?
friend.
Yeah.
2 female friends and 1 male friend, and like they loved it. And like one of my female friends even said like, "Yo, I got compliments on like how balanced my profile is." So trust me, man. I think I could sell you.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure mine's not balanced like that. That's an optimized profile right there.
Optimize.
It's good. It's well done. The group photos is a big thing there. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tim, is this on the apps?
But
It's on WhatsApp. You can't see it there.
yeah.
Ah,
We'll send it to Discord
WhatsApp.
somehow.
fuck Facebook.
Are you on Signal?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'll send it to you on Signal.
Nice.
Yeah. Well,
Well done,
But-
Paul, well done.
in general, like, yeah. I mean, the apps, they're annoying, you know, because you have to have like, but like I said, I just go at it with reckless abandon. I don't look at it when I match with someone like, oh, this is it, this could be it. It's just like,
Yeah.
to me, it's more of like a game, kind of like a video game or a challenge. It's just like, all right, well, what fire text do I have to send in order to like maintain interest? And I look at it as
Wow.
like a challenge, and not so much as like this is someone that I'm going to be spending the rest of my life with, or I want to date.
It's like
You
right
know?
from the first when you see the picture, like this is the one I'm gonna be with forever.
No, it's more like, oh man, like I think I said earlier in like earlier ones, like, you know, I have 2 go-tos that are just, you know, F it, like let's shoot the shot and see what happens, and it's funny, but they always get replies, man.
That's good.
Bigger the hoops, bigger the heart.
Good.
Trust me, bigger the
Lately,
hoops, bigger the heart.
you say it feels like a challenge, like a video game. Lately, it feels like a video game for me of like the dailies, where you just log in to do the dailies,
Yeah.
and then, and then you're out. So for me, it's like I gotta open this one. I'm giving myself 10 swipes, and then this one 10 swipes. This one, and if I after the 10, hey, I did it. I'm done. I don't have to do it anymore for the day, and that's as far as I get because I don't get beyond the swiping stage. I don't match, or the people that I do match with are fake. They're fake accounts. So.
There's fake on Hinge? I didn't know that.
Oh, not on
Oh,
Hinge. I
yeah.
never match on Hinge, but all the other ones. I think I'll do better just sliding into Instagram DMs.
Well, there's also like I don't know if you guys ever notice this, but there's like a vibe that you let out when you like talk to people, or like you get from other people.
Mhm.
So I feel like the way Paul is talking about like how he just doesn't give a fuck when he sends these messages, the vibe is like, you know, it's careless, it's carefree.
Carefree.
That's
Yeah.
the kind of vibe that he releases
Yeah.
out. So what
Yeah.
kind of messages are you sending on these apps, and what's the vibe that you're putting
I
out
mean,
there
it's
when you-
respectful, but I'm not gonna like, you know, I don't care. It's always 100% respectful. Just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know.
But it's still like carefree, like it's
Yeah.
like I'm
Fun.
good, like, you know. Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
where the
because
core of
Keep it
like
fun and respectful.
Yeah, because it's like it's a, you know, to me this girl's just a picture on the screen right now. Like
Mhm.
I like if they're turned off by me or like grossed out by me, F it. I don't know them. They're a picture on the screen. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, like yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I'm sort of a believer that too. If it shouldn't be hard. It should be easy. Like things should go easily, and if it's, I'm not out there to chase. At least I don't chase anymore. If it doesn't click right away, then whatever. That's fine. And to think like to play the game though of like trying to send some fire text.
That's who Paul is. You know, when we talk to Paul, that's how he talks.
I know.
That's
I'm
who
just
he
saying
is.
I don't think that's my style. I just don't think that's not what I aspire to do. I don't want to play the game. I'd rather just be straight up. If it vibes with an attraction first, it's easy. If it doesn't, it ends pretty quickly, and that's okay. I don't
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know what you've been sending, but I remember the one thing we talked about it already. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but the way you come out with the first message already before I'm sure you fixed it by now, but but it's like,
Nope.
what kind of vibe are you putting out when you put that message out? What is the other person receiving when they read that? Because they don't get your tone when you're speaking to them, but they get whatever text you send them.
Mhm.
What does the text say, and what kind of vibe is that releasing? Is the vibe like, oh, you're the one, or like,
Oh
like,
no.
I'm looking
It's
for a
not.
girl right now, and she has to marry me, and I want 2 kids, and I want a car and a house, like.
The vibe is, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, what vibe does the girl receive from that? Oh, this guy's just like the million other guys that give me
it's
the
just
same
like-
simple message.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
So, it's like, hey, do you prefer sunrises or sunsets? What music is playing in the background?
Yeah.
And
It's
you
like-
learn a lot. You glean
Yeah.
a lot from that. You know what music they're into. You understand what kind of vibe they're trying to get.
Yeah.
And you could and you
It's
could joke
true.
around with that. So
But it's not like that message is not trying to deceive them to be with Paul. He's like,
Oh,
it's genuine,
not-
right? It's
I'm
genuine,
okay.
right?
I get
Yeah.
it. What I'm trying to say is like, I do think it's more of like, regardless of what you say, if they take the time to open your profile and see it, that's what's gonna sell. I mean, you can, so Paul, yeah, you can send a fire text as your first message, but what's gonna take them to swipe back at you is after they look at your profile. It's your profile that sells you, not the fire text could open the door and put your foot in the door, but it's your profile
but
that
the
sells
fire
you.
text what keeps the conversation going.
Mhm.
What keeps that connection
engaging.
going.
It's engaging.
But I mean,
Yeah.
do
You,
you
need that. You need that conversation to keep going because like they probably get 20 how are yous.
Oh, I know. They get way more than that. I know.
Oh yeah, yes, but that's
Most-
why you want to stick out. You
If-
want to be
if-
able to.
If someone spends the time to write in their profile, I usually gravitate to someone like that already because they took the time and effort to
Yeah.
describe themselves. So I'll refer to something that I've read. But if I don't see anything there, I'm not gonna put more time in it than that. You know.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna-
guess it's just putting in that little extra work. Like I just do it.
Hey,
'cause
I'm not
yeah.
knocking it, dude. It's
Yeah.
working for you, obviously, or it's worked. So I'm not knocking it. I mean, that worked for you, so it's good. It's good. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's wrong. Maybe,
So
yeah.
I think like
could try it.
just to continue off Mike's vibe check. Like I feel like most people, especially in the dating game, are always very serious, whereas Paul comes across as playful and fun to make it a lighter situation, and people gravitate towards people that are light and fun and not so serious all the time, especially when you're first introducing yourself to a person, regardless of a relationship or not. So I think
Mm.
like a good book would be The Game.
yeah.
Just have you read that too, Paul?
Oh no, never mind. I haven't read that one.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's like
mean-
it's a song and dance that you do with people, even like just friends as well. It's not even just about guys and girls. It'd be like guys gravitate to other guys that are like, yo, this guy looks like he's having fun. I'm gonna join this, right? You know, like I'm not gonna go to the guy that's in the corner like sipping a drink by himself. I'm gonna talk to the guy that's having fun and inviting people to join and dance with him. If that makes sense. And like you want to distill that it went even especially in digital conversations if you can.
Yeah. And for me, I determine if they really want to continue the conversation or not. Like later, to me, it's more like I'll give them my number, and then if they actually text me, then I know they're interested.
Mhm.
But if it doesn't go beyond that, then it's like that's the point where I know if they're interested or not.
Yeah,
Is if they're
totally.
gonna text me, because
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
I'll say, I usually transition the conversation into a way that's just like, oh yeah, I don't really, or Oh no, actually, this is what I do. So I say like, oh, can't really send pics or videos over this thing, like, because I talk about my plants, and then so I would show them a picture of my plants, so they have to get my number.
Smart.
Nice. I need to get plants. I gotcha. Okay.
Or you can, whatever you're interested in, your skateboard, your snowboards, things like that, like, because you're talking about something that you like and you're passionate about and you want to share it.
Right.
So yeah, but that's like a good excuse to see if they're really interested and they really want to know who you are as a person and, share your interests and, see something from. They don't want a boring guy. They want a guy who has passion and who has like interests, right? And you have interests. You have a lot of interests.
Yeah.
Why not share it?
I'm very public about it and transparent too. So it's not hard for people to find this out if they're interested in finding out. So I'm not letting it be known, right? It's all out there. There's nothing hidden about me. So there's no
That's why you
mystery.
get the number.
That's why I get the number.
And you get the confirmation. That they really, really are interested.
Yeah. No, I get it. Just it's not if the foot's in the door, it's okay. It's just no doors are. There have been no open doors. There's not even any unlocked doors or closed doors. They're all doors. I'm not complaining. It's whatever. It's a numbers game. It's even way more saturated now. I just got to put in more time to be exposed. I have to be exposed. If it's not the apps, it's gonna be me going out and meeting new people and making new friends and circles. And yeah, don't worry. I mean, I appreciate it. I'm not turning down any of the advice. I'm gonna try what music's playing in the background. We'll see how that goes for the next week.
Sunrise or sunset. Then what?
Sunrise and sunsets.
And then what? Because for some reason, I learned that one off Reddit. The sunrise sunsets, because they're like, this line just 100% works with females. They just can't help but answer it, and it's true. I was just like, wow. Yeah. And then
all right, sunrise and sunsets. I'm gonna send. All right. Starting tonight, any first message that I send will be sunrise or sunsets. And I'll let you guys know how that goes.
All right.
All right, and then followed by what music's playing.
I feel like Paul, you have a lot of experience.
It's good. It's good.
Do you have like a system, Paul? Like a full.
What's up?
Do you have a full like system, or even a roster? Like I had a buddy in Vancouver. He was pro at LinkedIn.
Oh,
at
I wasn't a Tinder guy.
And he had a roster.
The user interface of Tinder hurts my eyes. Like I couldn't do it. So, but Hinge, they're more serious on Hinge. Like, I felt like the girls were way more serious, and I just didn't want to be evil. So I was not to. But yeah. I mean, it was good. Like, there was one time I didn't want to. I had like, I don't want to brag, man.
It's all
well,
good.
But like, yeah, like it was.
we don't
literally,
don't think you're bragging.
I had like 4 dates in like 7 days, and like at the end of it, I was like, "Yo, I'm sick of this shit." Like I was like, I actually hated. Yeah, because I was like, all right, like I'm exhausted, and I didn't really, like, I wasn't 100% into them. Like on the apps, it's cool. Like, the main thing is getting your foot in the door, right? Like that's the hardest part. But and translating it to an actual date, But it's at the actual date where I'm just like, like that was kind of dead.
But at least you tried,
Yeah.
And like you went that to be
Yeah.
that person.
Exactly. And I was going to the same
actually, I had
taco
a
place too. I was like, damn, I have to eat these tacos again.
You go to the same spot.
Oh man, so
Because it's
The
cheaper.
staff's
It
like,
was
"Hey,
cheap.
it's that guy again."
It's trendy, but it's affordable. I was like, all right, like go to the same taco.
that's a concept actually. It's called the third place. Have you
No.
guys heard of it? It is. So It's used in pickup terms, but it's also in a lot of sitcoms. Like you see Seinfeld, Friends, they all have a third place where they go that's not home, that's not work, and it's the place in the middle that everybody meets. And in pickup artist slang, or in the game, this third place is a place where you frequent a lot, so you get to know you get to know the staff and the people that work there, so that builds your clout, so that when you bring somebody to that place, you can see how well you mesh with other people, and it kind of gives you like brownie points for your current date as well. It's a really interesting concept, but
Okay,
it makes a lot of sense because
Yeah, I believe that.
I just
My
had to
third
Google
place
the
would
word
be
clout.
University Plaza Harvey's.
There you go.
them motherfuckers knew me.
There you go.
Oh, my place
that's
was
that
Night
could be
Owl. That was my spot.
That's a good spot by the sound of it. Like, that
That
sounds
sounds-
great. Yeah.
Like every bartender, I
sounds
made
fun,
sure
and
to
if you
have
get to
this
know-
like this relationship of like, you know, if you're getting the next round, I'd always offer to buy the bartender a drink. They never need you to buy them one, but they always appreciate it and they charge you on your tab. But then the next one, they always got you in the next one, so it ends up just kind of balancing it out, and then you're on a first name basis with them. Eventually, they just take your coat in the back of the bar, so you don't have to pay for coat check, and then you just got this like. They'll always look out for you too. They'll always like, oh yeah, what do you want next? And you get like dibs. You get to butt in front of other people because. And yeah, it was 90s
great
R&B
idea.
hip hop. It was awesome. It's expensive, but
Well,
That's the third place.
I think
That's the
yeah, you could use that when things open up again,
Yeah, man.
and it definitely
Yeah,
helps.
use that.
well, yeah. When things
Oh.
open up.
So I had a question about Paul.
Sure.
So you said when you were in Detroit, there was a point where you only had 3 friends. How did you have those? Like, how did you meet those friends, or was it?
I went to school with 2 of them, and then one of them, I met the third one through those 2.
Okay.
And this is like the middle of the pandemic, so like, you know, nothing was open. So like,
Yeah.
and that was literally our bubble, was like those 3 friends. Like that, all of us were each other's bubble. Like we didn't hang out with anyone else. You know, because like all of us were away from family. You know, one of them is from Toronto, the other one's from LA, and the other 2 of them are from LA. So
Yeah.
like we were all away from family. We all lived alone. So like it was easy, like hanging out.
Fair. I think that definitely makes a difference. Like I'm kind of in that position right now where I'm like, I have acquaintances, but I haven't made the effort to reach out. Kind of like what you guys were saying earlier about the cold calling. I think that's
Yeah.
probably a good idea that I should try, because that is exponential growth, right? Like you were saying,
Yeah.
like you reach out to one, and then you go into you break into their group, and then it just expands from there, and you can meet people through there.
And like,
It's,
think about it, like if one of your friends or acquaintances called you, like cold called you and said, "Hey, come out," you'd probably go out, right?
yeah, like wait, friends of friends?
Well, no, like the acquaintances that you're talking about. Like, let's say they actually asked you to hang out. Would you hang out?
So I know I should, but I did say no at this one instance. And
Oh yeah, I mean,
I
that's
probably
fine. Like for me, it's different because I actually like the people I was gonna go out with. So it's more
True.
like that.
No, I think it's a different. You have to be in a different mindset, right? Like for me, like I've been having this discussion with Michelle, how like sometimes I'm really set in my ways still. Like I'm very strict, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to do these things because I'm not interested in them. So I want to do these other things, and I'll just meet people there. And that kind of cuts off a lot. And sometimes I just completely like block myself. Not even like the friend equivalent of cock block myself.
Yeah.
I don't know a word for it.
I mean,
But yeah, I think you should cold call and accept invitations. Just say yes.
yeah, or like it could even just be like, you know, everyone has to eat. You know, like it doesn't have to be an activity. Like if it's like, oh hey, I'm cooking something, you want to come over? Like, you know, come hang out, just kick back, whatever, you know.
So it's funny though. I went to this thing this past weekend for Canadians in Wellington, and
Wait, one
I
second.
talked
Where
to
are
two other
I have no idea where you are. I'm so sorry.
Wellington, New Zealand.
Oh, you're New Zealand? God damn it. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Wait, what? How did you not know that?
I always think you're in like Vancouver and then New Zealand and then somewhere else. And anyways, so go on. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It was funny because I talked to these Canadians and they're like, I tried to like invite people over for dinner, but nobody really liked going out for dinner or coming over for dinner. Like they just showed up on time and they left right after eating. They're like these were two people. One group was from Montreal, another one was from Newfoundland, and both groups said, yeah, they find it difficult to have people over for dinner. And I'm like, interesting. I was thinking about it recently, and I'm like, maybe I should do a dinner. But now I'm like, probably not, because it doesn't seem like Wellingtonians like that. But going out for a drink, I think.
Coffee, they have some Bob coffee there.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're even just like
I don't
picnic, going
drink
to the
coffee.
beach, whatever, you know? Like,
Cold as fuck, dude. It's like, it's
Oh,
winter
just-
right now.
oh,
yeah,
shit. I had no
Oh,
idea.
yeah.
Southern Hemisphere.
True. It is cold right now.
That's
Do you have
cool.
mountains? Do you have mountains?
Yeah.
Mountains good.
Can you snowboard?
Queenstown.
No snowboarding mountains. But you can. So I did join a running club, and that was going well up until I started taking this night classes for starting an online business. It wasn't so fun.
Nice.
It's kind of boring. It was like a short MBA, the boring kind.
NBA.
But I'll probably go back to the running, and then I can run on the hills too, right? Yeah.
Are you in a rut?
So is life.
Are you in a social rut?
I think so, and usually a marker is I get addicted to things, and I'm addicted to Zelda, guys.
Hey, it's a good game.
No.
Worth it.
I just bought it on Monday because my partnership visa got approved, and I was like, I'm gonna treat myself.
Hey.
Goodbye.
Hey, congrats.
Congrats.
So you're
Yeah,
stuck
so I
there.
won't get kicked out of the country. No, I can travel and come back actually.
Oh, even
But-
better. Okay.
Yeah.
When are you coming back?
I want to come back in
August?
Christmas time, but
That's
Oh,
so sweet. New Zealand's like open. Like New Zealand's like safe open. You know, like that's so cool.
I mean,
Can you make it in August?
doesn't
Ren?
really help my situation, but I don't have a vaccine yet, and I don't think we're getting vaccines till later.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I will probably not travel unless I have that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, FJ. I know your birthday is
sucks.
in August.
No, it has nothing to do with the birthday. It's
Are
the
you
King
guys-
card in Red Velvet.
What?
Oh, just
do you mean
King
Red
Cardin.
Velvet?
King Card. I and you were always the one who brought Red Velvet. I just remember.
Did you guys bring some last year?
Probably not.
If any of us get it, it's because you.
Yeah.
Fucking love red velvet cake, man.
You exposed me to that, yeah, and it's probably my favorite now as well.
You're the Red Velvet guy. Yeah. That's
But I don't go out of my way to buy it. But
yeah.
it does remind me of you and King Cardin.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer I can keep that up. I feel like diabetes is coming. for me.
It is.
I think once a year is okay.
Don't be eating this red velvet every day.
Actually, guys, I'm learning to bake.
Oh, that's sweet.
I bake,
Nice.
but
Nah, I did some. Like, I learned how to make banana bread. Fucking love banana bread.
Oh,
that's
that's
my
so
go-to.
good. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
banana
yeah,
bread is
like,
good. Also,
Pour banana.
With walnuts in there.
you want
Walnuts? Oh god.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would buy
Could
bananas
do,
just
yeah.
for it to go bad so I could put it in banana bread.
Yo, they sell bags
Yo.
of black bananas. I think it's in Japan. Where you can buy banana bread bananas. Like they're already black. So they're just you just buy them solely to be used
yeah,
for
it makes sense. It's just the bananas that don't sell. They get
Yeah.
overripe. They sell them,
and they're
smart.
cheap. And they're cheaper. Yeah, may as well make money off of them and toss them. Anywho,
Yeah, but
We
you
just
should
got
get
new
sourdough,
bananas.
man.
I'm
Sourdough is
excited.
the shit.
Did
yeah,
you make
Oh, I
sourdough?
haven't learned how to make sourdough yet.
Dang.
Yo,
so-
Kyle's the sourdough guy.
You guys are
Kyle
so
is
talented.
Mr. Sourdough, yo.
You're so talented,
Uh,
dude.
I've had this starter now
Yo, okay.
years.
Next week, Kyle. Next week's episode, teach us how to
Where-
make
where-
sourdough because I
Where'd
would
you,
love to.
where
make
did you get your
sourdough.
starter?
I got my starter from a friend who got his starter from his friend, and that starter was like 4 years
From
old.
Jessica Alba.
Got it? So, then- so my starter's really the original starter is probably like 8 years old.
Well, that's cool.
Sick.
It's
Holy
good,
shit.
man. Sourdough bread is real good when you brought it camping.
Yeah, I was thinking I'll do another
I mean,
loaf
that's
for
all we buy.
camping. I'll bring another loaf
Oh,
because I only got
Sweet.
better, man.
Yeah, wicked.
When are you guys going camping?
Couple weeks.
yeah.
Couple weeks, yeah.
Weeks.
Like fun. Haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, man, you've missed out on some cool posts on WhatsApp, man. Just come back.
Fuck face. Fuck Facebook.
Oh, that's why.
I don't use Facebook
Yeah.
either, bro.
I mean, I would love to talk to you guys, but just come on to Signal. I
Facebook.
just can't support Facebook.
Use the
Facebook sucks.
I use the
Mark Zuckerberg
Discord
sucks.
and I use the WhatsApp. That's what I use.
Well,
Yeah,
what's up,
it's-
Facebook?
people have this sense of security with Signal because it's not owned by anyone, I
Microsoft
guess.
or
Really?
Facebook.
Yeah.
It's also encrypted.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so is
good.
WhatsApp.
Like,
So it's like BBM.
So is WhatsApp.
mm,
The
no, I
BBM
think
was
it's
the
closer to
first one.
BBM than what WhatsApp is.
Yeah, BBM was the original.
BBM was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Here's
like
something.
BBM.
You scan your phone, add you.
I still think the conspiracy is like somebody brought down BBM from the inside. Because they weren't following along with the Googles of the world, and they were doing their own thing, and I think they got sabotaged.
Yeah.
I think two
I think they
higher
got bloated.
up guys got paid off, and they made like the
Uh-huh.
stupidest decisions, and then lo and behold, they decided to put out 7 phones at the same time, and therefore they all sucked, and quality was shit, and then they all went, they just died.
What if they were just
Bad
straight up
podcast.
stupid instead
They were
of
just-
Well, the thing is, Lazaridis didn't make that decision. Neither did Balsilli. It was 2 other guys, and the same guy that randomly was on this flight and like got belligerently drunk and did all this crazy shit on the flight. It was a BlackBerry exec, and that didn't help them either. I think it was that guy. Anyways, that's just my little conspiracy. Because BlackBerry was the shit, man. It was so good.
It was.
It was
I can
secure.
see Mike Lazardis as being innovative, but I don't know. I can't speak to any of the middle managers, right? So
Well, yeah, middle management was a problem there for sure, because they wanted to just show that they could have tons of employees. So what happened was they had just bosses of bosses, and it was just a bunch of bosses that had that their team were other bosses and their teams were other bosses, and it was kind of stupid.
yeah,
But, yeah, I mean, but it's still sad. I'm still sad about BlackBerry. God, I look at their stock and I'm like, $7,
oh man,
and it's just
What was
computers
why?
that bet on it. Sorry, what was that, Ren?
huh?
I thought you said something. My bad.
Oh no. I was just like, what was it before? Like the
Well, they peaked at 60 something, 80 something, 100 and something. I can't remember.
It's 150 or something.
Yeah, that's awesome. The good old days.
oh, bye, Paul.
Oh, bye, Paul. He passed out, maybe. All right, guys.
Oh yeah. Fair.
Well, is there anything? I mean, Ren, you kind of, is there anything else you want to kind of let off your chest, share with us? Need any kind of insight, perspective? You okay?
I mean, I'm a work in progress. I think I just need to. It's like what you said earlier, right? Like you just need to just try one more thing, always one more thing. You know, obviously
Yeah.
different things, because if you're doing the same thing, you're probably not. You're probably just running in circles. So, yeah, you have to try. It's like Thomas Edison, right? Like he's like, I don't have 10,000 failures of a light bulb. I just found 10,000 ways that it doesn't work. You know, like you have to just keep trying each one, and eventually you'll get there. Like if you're trying distinct new things, then you will eventually find a working path.
Nice.
I think one of the later things I've started to adopt, which was pretty nice, was just not saying no for a while. Like any kind of opportunity that came, even if I knew it wasn't really in my comfort zone, or if it was, out of the ordinary for me, where I would be a little bit of a struggle, or I might be at a little bit of a loss if it was work related or whatever. I just didn't want to say no. I was just like, let's do it, because it would expose me to something new. I'd learn something. The struggle with the last year was that there was very little of those opportunities. So what I've had to adapt, or at least I'm trying at least more now, is to introduce new environments where those can be brought in, where more of those opportunities, invitations can be offered. So yeah, expand your interest pool. Your skateboarding was a entirely new thing, but it was just, something.
If I were to request one thing, if we're gonna expand our horizons digitally,
Signal.
how about next week? No. I was gonna say, Kyle, teach me how to make sourdough. Let's do an online class, man. Just you, me, and thing.
Well, I could describe the process, but it's long. Like I can't just make sourdough on a stream or anything. It's a lot of waiting. It's like mix this stuff. Now wait 2 hours. Now stretch it and fold it. Now wait another half an hour. Then do that again in intervals. And then put it in the fridge for 18 hours. And then yeah.
You should
Is
do it
there a part? So that sounds like
just the camera on the bread.
On the thing, he's just watching it. 48-hour stream. How to make sourdough. Yo, that would do really
Kind
good.
of cool idea though would be if you had a camera and you did the time lapse, because you do see the dough moving.
Yeah.
You see the dough. You'd see the dough, like
that's cool.
you see the proof happening where it's just like. "Woo."
I mean, you could do that with your phone. Just plug it in so it doesn't die of battery.
I can't put my phone in my fridge.
Well, the light would turn off, I guess. Is that why? Or you mean the
I just don't
temperature?
feel comfortable putting my phone in the fridge
Oh,
for
okay.
18 hours.
Do you have a GoPro?
I do have a GoPro.
There you go. I think the thing is, it's the light. You need a light because it's
the
dark. in
battery
there
and the
when
light. Yeah, it doesn't have a light. Yeah.
You have
Just have
to.
an LED light, LED strip inside the fridge.
And your bread should be in like a sealed, like a bag. It shouldn't. It doesn't just sit in the fridge. It has to be like sealed in.
Is light bad for it, or doesn't matter the light part?
No, light's fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Temperature is the main thing with sourdough bread, because it's live bacteria. So there's an ideal temperature for growth, optimal growth, which is something like 29 degrees Celsius or something. So I don't do that. I don't follow that because I don't have a proofing box. some people make their own proofing box to like make sure the temperature is exactly 29 degrees. But
Wow.
that's a little too hardcore for me.
So, like, in terms of time, how is it like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes, 5 hours later, and then 5 minutes another couple hours?
Yeah. Like if you're around, you can do it whilst doing other things. You just set a timer, it beeps, you go and you work the dough a little bit, and you come back. Yeah. Like it doesn't take a whole lot of time really. The initial part does because like like mixing the flour, the water, and the sourdough starter. That takes a bit of time and effort, and then you gotta clean because you're most likely using your hands and tools. You have to you wash everything, and that takes the biggest amount of time. And then once your dough is made, it's all like 5 to 10 minute things you have to do. But
Can the initial part be streamed, like in a series of streams, not just one? Or is it like...
I mean, I could just send you videos that I watched. Yeah, the trick is the starter.
I think I learned better with in person.
With what?
In person.
In person, yeah. Me too, yeah. Like watching my friend feed his starter for the first time when I got it. That was really cool. He keeps a wet start, like really wet. My starters.
Eat my
borderline.
pretties.
Yeah, you gotta feed it. You gotta feed those little guys. Or they'll die.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really good. And sourdough bread's supposed to be really
Or
good
Mike.
digestive system.
Mike could teach one of his many dishes that I feel like he's been learning because I haven't learned any of that. I need to learn how to cook.
What have I learned? Oh, even the omelet I didn't get good
You
at.
posted some good shit.
Still working on the omelet thing.
And Dan,
The
Dan has
souffle?
been making some wicked stuff too.
The souffle, you know the one
Dan
that,
did
like,
the omelet souffle.
Oh, the
From,
cut open one? The cut open
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Oh, omurice. You
Omurice, yeah, I can make
You
omurice.
made that,
It
yeah.
just won't look as
Oh.
nice as what they do.
It looked pretty good though. That's a technique, a very difficult dish to make. Technique.
Yeah, I tried. It's so fucking hard.
I looked
I
at.
can make like
the
a shitty
video
version of it.
Like I looked at a pro, and I'm like, I can't do that. It looks. He makes it look easy, but I'm like, what? Oh, he's on call. Paul is.
Paul's on
Thanks,
call.
Paul. Have a good one.
GG.
Man.
You can make takoyaki. Isn't that what it was?
Ooh,
Takoyaki?
takoyaki. Yeah, I should do.
Yeah, you've made that.
But you
before
need a
too.
special machine for that.
Yeah, I asked my brother to buy me that for Christmas.
That's pretty sick though. Like you could use that every weekend if you wanted.
Yeah.
It's really nice. And you don't have
Is
to
it a
make
similar thing to bubble waffles?
Yeah, isn't it the
Yeah, I
ball
guess I
waffle
can make
balls?
bubble waffles with this.
Yeah.
You can make
A little bigger, I think.
anything. You can make tiny spherical cupcakes.
Right. Cakes.
Like Timbits.
Cake balls.
Mm,
Red velvet cake balls.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. So the sourdough you usually make is very hard. The crust is very hard. So like my granny and my mom and my dad, like it's too hard. And it actually started to like possibly crack my teeth.
Hey.
That
So-
hard.
Well, no, but
Yes.
this last filling I got, it may have been because of the bread. I don't think so, but it may have. But so there's a recipe of making if you introduce other ingredients like butter and milk, you can make a much softer bread. So that I might try that one out, and then I'm gonna try it maybe
For the
next
camping trip.
week, and then before camping, I'm gonna bring one of them.
Nice.
So that one's
Excited.
gonna be much softer than what you remember from the first time. It's
Cool.
gonna be like real soft. It should be.
Cool.
So hopefully it's better. I mean, what butter and milk make anything better? Makes it less healthy, but tastes better.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a
Alright,
little
guys. I mean, that was a long one. We did. Where is it now? Almost
It
3
was
hours.
like a Rogan. This was a Rogan podcast. 3 hours.
3 hours. 2 hours 51 minutes. All right. Anyone else want to say anything? I'm lonely.
Okay to feel a little lonely. It's all right.
Whoever is
Stop.
out there who feels loneliness, just know that you're not alone. We all feel it.
You're
with
gonna say,
you.
call me.
Call me at 555 2424. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, you know, if you can relate to any of us here, we shed some perspectives that could help you out. If not,
Or
reach out as much as you can. And I think, Mike, you were right though. Like, you have to be willing to listen and be open to suggestion, to advice and suggestions. Sometimes people just want to. People aren't actually looking for help. They just need a way to vent or release. But the next step is actually, you know, trying new things. And yeah, thanks, Kyle. I didn't mean to like challenge the. I think the sentiment was, yeah, the breaking point, the point where it's like you can't take it anymore. It's not just noted. It makes sense for sure. It's logical. And yeah, I think the last thing I want to say is the whole sentiment of like looking, and the whole that message that I opened with, like people were like, you shouldn't be looking so hard. And I don't necessarily think I am, but I have been vocal about it, so maybe it looks like I'm really bitching about it. But I think I'm trying to be more accepting and open to the fact that I know I want it, and I don't have to feel like I need it. I just know I want it. It's not a need in my life. It's like, to be happy, I need this. I just know I want it because I know I could be happier because I have a lot of love to give. And it's just awesome. So that's at least what I am trying to accept more, because I've been trying to adopt what everyone's saying, you know, just love yourself, be happy, you know, like you should be able to feel like you could go the rest of your life, you know, just be that cool uncle, right? I'm like, man, I don't want to be the cool uncle. I want to be the cool dad. That's what I want. So that's what I'm gonna get. Anyway, cool.
Cool.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Oh, hey, War. Hey.
Podcast part 2.
You have any parting words, War? Or you wanna? I'm just gonna wave. Okay. All right.
So tanned already.
Yeah.
It's been a day.
His tattoo's gone.
Told you. Gone.
I'll do it maybe next week. I'll work out a little bit.
Nah, just do it.
All right, guys.
Get tattoo. Oh.
Oh,
Just
nice.
came to say goodnight.
Yeah, I'm
Thanks
gonna
for
go.
watching. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next
Later.
week, 10:30 p.m. when we might do sourdough. Who knows?